We've got the Huskies of Northern
Illinois versus Michigan. Pause. Selectable.
And when you've got teams with disparate records like we do today, 1-5 against 4-2, you would think statistically you'd be able to tell easily which is which. But in our blind resume, not so fast. Scoring offense, scoring defense, passing yardage pretty even. There you see Eastern on the left and Northern Illinois on the right. And welcome, everybody. Along with Marcus Ray, I'm Doug Sherman. So glad you're with us here today. And that blind resume certainly does tell a story.
Yeah, it does tell a story. And the one that's really stuck out in my mind was the 38 points that Northern Illinois has given up defensively. And I think it's hard to win a lot of games when you give up that many.
Well, the Huskies can score, and out of the backfield, they've got a young man by the name of Harrison Whaley, who is much more versatile than just running the football.
No, he can do it all. I mean, you talk about running the football. He can catch out of the backfield. Right there, 10 receptions, 96 yards last week versus a Toledo defense as well, too. But he had 30 carries 2 weeks ago for 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. So he can catch the screen. He's a good check down back. He can make you miss. I think he needs to have a big day.
Meanwhile, Eastern has itself a really good running back as well. He leads the MAC in yards per game, Samson Evans.
Hey, he puts the ball in the end zone. 3 touchdowns last week, a career high. He has become a complete running back from the 20 to the 20, not just in the red zone. And you'll watch him here. He gets downhill. He always falls forward. He's a tough load. In his career, Eastern Michigan used to use him only in short yardage and red zone situations. But now, in the open field, they trust him with the football.
There is the head coach for the Huskies, Thomas Hammock, year 4 back at his alma mater. He graduated 20 years ago. Great running back in the history of this program, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak today. Meanwhile, Chris Creighton in year number 9, one of the 2 longest tenured coaches in the Mid-American Conference. This is a team picked 5th in the MAC West preseason. NIU was picked 1st, but at the moment, the Eagles certainly look like they could win a division championship this year. Eastern won the opening coin toss and deferred, and so Northern Illinois takes the opening kickoff. And a big hit leveled at about the 22-yard line as we get things started on a perfect fall day for football, Marcus.
Right, that's in the way you start off the football game. On special teams, running down, making a big hit. And these Eagles, I mean, they've looked good. They're coming off that big win against Western Michigan, good rivalry. We'll see how Northern Illinois comes out. As you see, we got a new guy quarterback.
We do. After the big hit by Stephen Scheidt, we see Justin Lynch, the transfer from Temple, getting the start today because Ethan Hampton, last week's starter, was injured in the 3rd quarter last week and didn't make the trip here to Ypsilanti. And on first down, they give it to the man we featured, Harrison Whaley, up the middle for a 13-yard pickup. First down, Huskies.
That's one way to really get it going, is to get Whaley going north and south. Northern Illinois prides their whole entire program on running the football downhill and being tough. And he turned the ball over a few times last week. But if you can run it with this guy right here, Harrison Whaley, that's why we talked about him at the top of the show, Doug.
A touchdown-saving tackle by Joshua Scott. That's Whaley in motion. Fake the handoff on the direct snap. And we're going to talk a lot about Ontario Brown. Once he gets downhill, this emerging star, a sophomore from Savannah, Georgia, is tough to bring down.
Yeah, he definitely is. And right now, he's probably going to be the wildcat player as far as that quarterback. That's why he's one of our impact players. And on the other side, Chase Klein, the transfer from Michigan State, he's leading the Eagles in tackles. But normally Lynch runs that wildcat when Hampton and Lombardi was in the game. But now look for Brown to do it.
And Lynch is back out there at quarterback. Handed off Mason Blakemore. No, the fake handoff. And Lynch kept it on the RPO. Good pickup. And you mentioned Lombardi. Rocky Lombardi is the #1 quarterback for Northern Illinois. He has been out injured. Suffered an injury week 3 against Vanderbilt. He is in uniform today, and we expect him to get some reps. But it's Lynch's game from the start. After the 7-yard pickup, bring up 3rd down and 3 for Northern.
And Lombardi may be an insurance policy, because if this offense continues to move the ball the way they are now, they really wouldn't need to take Lynch out. But we'll see how the game plays out, but right now Lynch is doing his thing.
Now Lynch splits out, direct snap to Brown, and Eastern's defense was ready. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Joe Sparacio, the Boston College grad transfer, among those in on the stop.
Well, that motion by Lynch didn't fool anyone, and this Eagles defense, the entire front, they maintained their run gap integrity and got penetration. And that was a long 3.5 to try to convert, but that's a great stop there for Eastern Michigan.
So after picking up one first down, the Northern Illinois offense gives way to its punt team. And redshirt sophomore punter Tom Foley from Peoria, Illinois, he drops it at the 15-yard line, and that's going to be a beauty. It's going to roll to a stop at the 5, inside the 5-yard line. Nicely done by the punter for the Huskies, covering 54 yards to deaden it perfectly.
It's a nice job of flipping the field for the defense, getting some field position, backing up this red-hot offense of Eastern Michigan as they put up 35 last week in the first half. So they played complete football on all three sides, all three phases. Complementary football is the official term that Coach Creighton likes to use. Complementary.
Well, Coach Creighton is glad to have Taylor Powell back in the lineup again this week. The 6'2 grad transfer who began his college career at Missouri will touch the football for the first time here today with his toes on the goal line. Jalen Jackson is the running back. He is lightning in a bottle. You know, we talked about Samson Evans leading the MAC at over 105 yards per game. He and Jalen Jackson both average a very healthy 5.4 yards per carry.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with that offensive line. And Jackson is very explosive, leads the nation in kick returns, and he is a firecracker. I mean, he can explode from anywhere at any time.
And then the receiving core for Taylor Powell. Last year it was the three amigos, Dylan Drummond, Tanner Canoe, and Hassan Beydoun, but they are really a three amigos and one as they try to run a wide receiver end around. Beydoun is tripped up. He stays in bounds, dropped at about the 5-yard line. But as we talk about the key players on both sides of the football with Eastern Michigan on offense, Darius Lassiter is kind of making it three amigos plus one for the Eastern wideouts.
Better yet, the four horsemen. I mean,
all right.
Ole Arn, woo! Then look at C.J. Brown. He's a big-time safety back there. I mean, he's having a great season, too. But definitely Lassiter makes that quad of receivers something special.
Yeah, C.J. Brown, a sophomore from Canton, Michigan, one of the leaders on defense for Northern Illinois. From his end zone, pass batted up. Is it caught? It is. An interception in the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies. A huge play by James Esther to get Northern on the board first.
Yeah, that's a very risky call in the end zone when you run a screen, and the defensive line of Northern Illinois, they read it, they snuffed it out, and that's a heads-up play. When you're a defensive lineman and you can't get to the quarterback, you get your hands up, and that's a big-time interception, a pick six as we call it, and that's something that Northern has to do more of to help out their offense.
The two-time captain out of Cass Tech in Detroit with the first big play of the ball game. And now John Richardson on for the point after. It is good. Well, this Northern Illinois defense will have its work cut out, but when they can put points on the board to begin the ball game, you got to like the way things feel for the visitors.
Definitely knocking the ball up in the air, catching it. Northern Illinois coming out swinging.
Thank you all for being here today. You are here because you made the decision to be collegiate student athletes. So let me ask you a question. Raise your hand if you want to win a conference championship, if you want to win a national championship. Now keep your hands up if you're willing to wake up 4:30 in the morning for mandatory workouts, if you're willing to put student first. So I'll ask you, are you willing to compete? Are you willing to execute? And are you willing to be a leader? Are you ready?
We decided it's time to put a different kind of power tool in your hands. Store Mode in the Home Depot app gives you in-store tools made to help you get more done. To guide you every step of the way and explore products quickly with the scan. That way you get the top brands at the best prices without missing a beat. It's made for doing. Download the Home Depot app and see how doers get more done.
You spend the day watching your kids' big game. At least one of you is having fun. And Chop House Aioli is calling your name. You want crispy onion strings and a brioche bun. Everything's better with melted cheese. Kevin's dad doesn't understand boundaries. The Sonic Chop House cheeseburger.
Sonic.
Wherever we come from, we all have one thing in common. We all want the incredible new iPhone 14 Pro. Now at T-Mobile. T-Mobile gives you Apple TV Plus included. So watch your favorite Apple originals on iPhone's most advanced display ever. Get iPhone 14 Pro on us with Apple TV Plus included. Now at T-Mobile.
Seven 0 Northern Illinois, and that man 2 weeks ago, James Esther, batted down a Ball State two-point conversion attempt in double overtime, a game the Huskies would wind up losing. He bats this one into the air to himself for a huge pick six.
And it was a heads-up play. It was a third down. He understood the situation. He didn't rush up the field entirely like he's supposed to in most pass rush situations, and that's an easy call. When the defensive coordinator says, hey, easy, or stay, then that's when you see defensive linemen anticipating the screen.
And some defensive linemen are better at that than others, right? I mean, there's a knack to it, and Esther seems to be adept at it.
Exactly, and the young man is out of Cass Tech High School.
Kickoff dropped and recovered back in the end zone for a touchback.
It's interesting to know what the rule is there, because when the ball goes in the end zone, obviously they call it a touchback when he nailed it, but that's still a live ball though. So he never possessed it. He tried to catch it, but Northern would have recovered it. They would have had a possession of the football, but because it went into the end zone, he could still take the knee. Never possessed it.
Jalen Jackson kept his head and made sure to secure the football ultimately, and so now Eastern Michigan a little more room this time on their second possession. Quick strike over the middle. A lot of room to run for the big man. Taylor Powell with the pass. Does the receiver have enough to get there? He does. How about that for an answer for Eastern Michigan?
One and done. What a call by Coach Chris Creighton, who runs the offense for these Eagles. They lined up in that formation and said, well, let's do it then, Huskies, and came right down the seam. And that young man, you had an interesting conversation with him, didn't you?
I did. Andreas Poski introduced himself to me about 3 hours ago when I was looking around the beautiful new football complex here in Ypsilanti, and he said, I'm number 85, I'm Andreas, and I'm going to have a big game. And so I said to you, we've got to make sure we keep our eyes on number 85, and what do you know? The biggest play of the game so far, a 75-yard touchdown from Taylor Powell.
And we'll take a look at it right down the middle of the field, wide open. When you spread defenses out, especially at that tight end position, when he stays in between the hashes, those defensive backs' eyes go outside looking at the wideouts. Someone forgot to identify and locate Mr. Post.
Hard to miss. 6'7", 252 pounds, a sophomore from Copenhagen, Denmark. His twin brother Rasmus plays basketball for the Denmark national team. Well, twin brother who plays football, doing big things here in Ypsilanti. We're tied at 7.
That's a good call, too, because I think Eastern Michigan's offense is much more efficient when they attack vertically down the field. last possession, you saw jet sweeps and some misdirections, and they got themselves in long yardage. And they had a little slow start. You throw a pick six and dropping kickoff returns, and then you just strike. But that's how good this offense is.
Don't blink today when the Eastern Michigan offense is on the field. We've had 2 touchdowns, both on singular plays. On the return across the 25-yard line, not quite out to the 30-yard line. It's a nice return by Mason Blakemore, the sophomore from Centralia, Illinois. 22 yards on the return, and we see Justin Lynch, the sophomore quarterback from Chicago, back out onto the field for Northern Illinois. There you see on the sideline Rocky Lombardi. He's still the alpha on this team, especially on the offense, and we are expecting to see him return. And for this Northern Illinois team, Marcus, that is in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, they need his play and his leadership on the field as soon as possible.
Definitely, because right now they're just one-dimensional, and you'll see Eastern Michigan make more plays like that when they know the run game is coming. Lynch can pass the ball. He's a pretty good passer, but their game right now is more one-dimensional, built around running the football, trying not to make a mistake, and then play to their defense.
First stop by Chase Klein after a 2-yard pickup. As mentioned, Lynch began his college career at Temple University. Had some moments as a freshman last year, but after a coaching change, he wanted to come back to Illinois and play for the Huskies, where his older brother was an All-American. Fake the toss, nowhere to go. My goodness, just swallowed up with not a chance to make a play. Jordan Crawford, the big nose guard, with a big hit for Eastern.
Yeah, he got a lot of penetration right down the middle, and you'll see he read the play. Eastern Michigan was in a defensive stunt, so when that offensive line all went to the right, he stayed home backside right in the middle of your screen on that last replay and made a great tackle.
And so on 3rd down and long, a passing situation, we see the return of Rocky Lombardi, number 12 in white, at quarterback. His first attempt since week 3. Plenty of time. Passes high, and it's hauled in for a first down. A marvelous catch by Cole Tucker for 14 yards.
Eastern Michigan was in a long yardage situation defense. They only rushed 3 guys, and they gave Lynch all day to throw the football. Cole Tucker did a fine job of getting to the sticks and sitting right in between those linebackers. You'll see great pass right there.
Well, Lombardi has been sharing reps in practice the last couple of weeks with Hampton and Lynch. They said he continued to make progress, and watching him warm up on the field before this game, Marcus, it was clear his arms just fine. Back to pass on 1st down, and he goes down. Jose Ramirez, wearing the number 0 today, picks up where he left off last week. His 4 sacks last week, among the all-time greats in program history. This one comes up with a loss of 6 as he takes Lombardi down.
Watch him last week. 4 sacks, school record. He's just beating guys off the ball. Up the field with the up and under, hand swipe. He has all the pass rush moves. And he's almost becoming unblockable at this point. But 4 sacks, and you saw another one right there.
So on 2nd down and long, they run the football to pick up 5 and get back near the line of scrimmage thanks to the run by Whaley. So we mentioned Ramirez is not wearing his customary number 4. He's number 0 because he was named by his coaches last week's hard hat defender. And so he gets to wear the number 0 here today.
Yeah, he is the staple of this defense and arguably of the entire program. Chris Creighton really loves him. He's a great human being. And I was at a spring practice, and he walked up and introduced himself to me. He didn't say he was going to have a big day or anything, but he is
I think it was implied. You understood he was in for a big season.
That's right.
Well, he has the attention of the greatest pass rusher in recent years out of this program, Max Crosby. At pass, a little shovel pass, falls incomplete. After his 4 sacks, Max Crosby not only texted Jose, gave him a shout out in social media, and Jose said it's still like a little kid getting a text from your big brother. It's cool.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And they're getting after Lombardi. He had the nice pass across the middle to Cole Tucker, and then He just didn't look comfortable back there. And these defensive linemen, especially Zero right there, Ramirez, he's actually trying to go for another school record, it looks like.
Foley gets the punt away. We've got a fair catch, and Eastern Michigan will bring that offense back out there.
See, Eastern Michigan, Northern tied up 7-0.
Let's make a toast. Here's to savoring every sip and embracing every moment. Every unexpected, timeless moment. To turning up, winding down, and everything in between. Whatever you're planning or not planning this holiday season, we're made for the moment.
Can you hear me calling out your name? You know that I'm falling and I don't know what to say. I wanna be with you.
From Bolt to Blazer, Equinox to Silverado, Chevy EVs are for everyone, everywhere.
With Sonic's 2 for $5 menu, you get 2 delicious things for only $5. How will you know which 2 to choose? Don't ask us. That's a rhetorical question. And everyone knows 2 for $5 is better than 1, which is helpful if you struggle with decision making. The Sonic 2 for $5 menu.
Sonic.
Red Riding Hood loved visiting Grandma's house. Unfortunately, others did too. But after saving big with early holiday deals at Amazon, she was ready for those uninvited guests. Who's a good boy? Apparently the big bad wolf.
Welcome back to Rynearson Stadium, 7-7. Just under 7 minutes left. Eastern Michigan, Northern Illinois, all knotted up. Action here, mid-November. These are the type of games we expect to see. As you see Coach Thomas Hammock and his Fighting Huskies, 1-5 record, trying to get their first conference win. They scored their 7 points with a pick 6 in the end zone.
You know what I learned this week about Coach Hammock? He's a huge New York Yankees fan. He grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey, went to Yankees games in the Bronx with some regularity, and I asked him while we were talking on our weekly Zoom, is that picture of Bernie Williams on your wall behind you? He's like, yeah. Normally you go into a coach's office, he's got football stuff everywhere. He's got lots of football stuff, but Bernie Williams, number 51, was his guy. His defense comes up with a nice stop on first down.
That time the Huskies came out in a 4-3, a true 4-3 where they had 4 linemen, 3 backers in the box. You don't really see that defense run. But after they gave up the long touchdown to Polsky, now they want someone at least chucking that tight end when he releases down the field. And they're playing the rocking and rolling their safeties now too, trying to disguise the coverage.
The running back is Samson Evans, 6 rushing touchdowns, tied for number 1 in the MAC this year, including 3 last week in the rout at Western Michigan. He gained 90 yards on the ground. And as you talked about off the top, Marcus, he's being used differently this year in a much more expanded role, and he has flourished in that role.
Definitely. I mean, he's a guy that can carry the ball 25 times if necessary. He's tough, runs well in between the tackles. He's not going to give you a lot of wiggle, and he doesn't have to when he gets that foot down and goes north and south. But he was a wildcat-type running back down in red zone, short yardage situations. Now they trust him in the open field.
Out of Crystal Lake, Illinois, spent a couple of years with the Iowa Hawkeyes, redshirted 1 year, and then was a special teams player in the Big Ten Conference before transferring here to Ypsilanti. On 3rd down and long. Powell, plenty of time, nice clean pocket, finds on the crossing pattern Hassan Beydoun, but he is wrapped up and dragged down immediately after no gain. Responding to the catch, Devin Lafayette in coverage.
It's a nice job there chasing the crossing route. Good stop for Northern Illinois as well. And right now we just don't know who Eastern is offensively. Are they that big play, one score? Are they backed up and turning the ball over in the end zone? You come out this drive with a 3-and-out. So right now it's a chess match, and I think both of these teams are trying to feel their way through and just not make any more mistakes.
Now Mitchell Thomasek, sophomore punter from Columbus, Ohio, out of Worthington Kilbourne High School. Two-time MAC West Special Teams Player of the Week so far this season. And a fair catch at the 45-yard line. Good field position for the Huskies after the 37-yard punt.
Coors Light wants to keep your chores light. Enter now for a chance to win a whole season of free laundry services while you chill and watch the games.
Can Coors Light do my laundry too?
These are delicates, my man.
We decided it's time to put a different kind of power tool in your hands. Store Mode in the Home Depot app gives you in-store tools made to help you get more done. To guide you every step of the way and explore products quickly with the scan. That way you get the top brands at the best prices without missing a beat. It's made for doing. Download the Home Depot app and see how doers get more done.
Why do we do it? Why do we push ourselves to the very brink? Why do we put 12-foot skeletons in our yards? Because fall. Woo! Fall hard with Dunkin'.
I'm a lifelong Democrat. I believe in serving others. We are less safe in our neighborhoods. Our tax burdens are up. Our job opportunities are down. We put Pritzker in office. He failed us.
I'm your football obsessed best man. When all eyes are on you, my eyes are glued to the game. And if you didn't bundle your home and auto insurance, well, all of this could be tough to tackle. So get Allstate.
Ironic. Edelman's struggling with reception. Time to switch to Verizon, the most reliable 5G network in America.
I'm listening.
You even get a free 5G phone on them.
Touchdown!
Switch now and get the new Google Pixel 7 Pro on us. Only on Verizon.
Oh, Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Sprout.
Time for basketball. A season fresh with hope and stars vying for greatness. NBA Opening Week begins Wednesday and continues Friday on ESPN.
Alongside former Michigan Wolverine Marcus Ray, I'm Doug Sherman back in Ypsilanti, Michigan. A couple of fireworks to begin the football game. We're tied at 7 late in the first quarter, and we've got the starting quarterback for the Huskies back onto the field, Justin Lynch, and it'll be interesting to see how Thomas Hammock uses his two available quarterbacks today. We've seen Rocky Lombardi come in and throw, but Lynch has been the starter, and they go back to him, at least for now.
Yeah, I think it's a good call because he gave both quarterbacks a taste of action. And Lombardi, you really wanted to see if you could use his services, and they did get a first down. Nice catch by Casper Rutkowitz, 8-yard gain for the Huskies. A little wrinkle in there in that play action, and Rutkowitz is a productive guy. 16 catches on the year, 5 touchdowns. And when he gets that ball in space, he can and will score. But I like the play call there. Look for Northern Illinois to mix it up a little bit more like that on first downs, just so they can get in a manageable situation. Now Lynch, the quarterback, comes to the bottom of your screen. Again, we'll have a direct snap out of the Wildcat to Brown. On second down, he's going to run between the tackles and not be touched. Ontario Brown, he's going to walk into the end zone. 47 yards on the score, another big strike. Northern Illinois retakes the lead. That's called the old school single wing offense. I mean, when the quarterback, i.e. running back, wildcat, look at that line pulling down, getting all the way down the field. Big John Champ, and those guys pulling it, and that's how you draw it up. I mean, they executed it exactly the way you drew it up in practice and in meetings, and that's why everyone's excited about Ontario Brown.
Richardson's point after makes the score 14-7. Ontario Brown, 5'10", 218 pounds. He can get you the tough yards, but we see he's also got breakaway speed.
You'll see just a direct snap. And that's called like a buck sweep. Both guards pull the same way. You see one of our impact players start getting linemen down the field. If you're a defense, you just can't overrun the football. And that's a great cutback, great vision. And they want the ball in his hands. And in Northern Illinois, like I said, they turned the ball over 4 times last week, 2 pick sixes. And they would much rather prefer to run plays like that.
Yeah. Well, the Eastern defense knows all about Mr. Brown, who sparked the win last year for the Huskies. 16 carries, 101 yards in the second half a year ago. This was a guy who was offered by North Carolina State, West Virginia, South Carolina, Virginia Tech. He was the gem of that year's recruiting class for the Huskies.
And I think he's a perfect fit, too. I mean, just for the offense. I mean, very complimentary. You talk about Cole Tucker, Rukowitz, and those guys on the outside. Then you got Whaley and Brown as well to go with Lynch.
Short kick to one of the up men, trying to find the edge, but he's going to be strung out at about the 27-yard line. Long ways to run for Hassan Beydoun after the 2-yard return.
See if Eastern Michigan can respond offensively. Taylor Powell, big day last week.
Hey, you see the officials for today. Jeremy Valentine in the white hat. And at some point we will hear from him. It was so good for Eastern to get Taylor Powell back. He returned at Western Michigan last week, going 20 of 30 for 293 yards, 3 touchdowns. Great move off the handoff. That gives you a taste of what number 28 can do with a football. Jalen Jackson, he picks up 11.
Yeah, that's a good job running that RPO. They were able to seal the edge and do the rest, but this guy could take it to the house from anywhere.
Well, when he put his name in the transfer portal, Jackson again, able to get across the 40-yard line. His statistics at Lamar didn't necessarily jump at you, but the coaching staff at Eastern said when you looked at him on tape, you could tell Jalen Jackson was dynamic.
And you have to have an eye for talent to be able to make that call and make it work.
Beydoun makes the first man miss, gets out to the 45-yard line. We talk about the number 0 being worn this week by Ramirez. Beydoun earned the number 2 for the entire season. They call it the deuce here at Eastern Michigan. It's in remembrance of former Eastern Michigan wide receiver Demarius Reed, who died back in 2013. The number 2 goes to one of the pass catchers every year in his honor.
And that number 2 jersey is buried right on the 50-yard line under that Eastern Michigan logo.
Very cool. Right about where they are all standing as we speak. 2:40 left in quarter number 1 on 3rd down and 4. Trying to set up a screen. Got a man. It's a first down and more. Gunnar Oaks. Big chunk yardage for Eastern Michigan. 14 yards for big number 82.
That's how you dial it up. It looked like a busted play for a second, but this is how you execute a tight end screen is you sell it, let the D-line go. Tight end leaks out. Big Gunnar Oaks.
Well, Eastern Michigan has some athletes, some weapons in their tight end group. We saw Posky with his 75-yard touchdown catch and run earlier today. Gunnar Oaks was a 1,000-point scorer in high school basketball. We're seeing more of a great-looking freshman in Max Reese, Jerry Getzinger as well. They've got a lot of weapons at the tight end position. Powell off the pass fake, puts it up, and incomplete. Trying to find another one of those big targets, Zach Westmoreland. Check that. That's Tanner Canoe. Tanner Canoe back in the lineup. after missing the trip to Kalamazoo last Saturday.
When Eastern Michigan crosses that 40-yard line, they like to try to take a shot, especially on first or second down in this area of the field. But that's good coverage there by the Huskies. But going back to those tight ends, when you have multiple tight ends, you can do a lot of different things with your personnel, run and pass.
Keep it on the ground. No room in the middle as Evans is dropped at the 35-yard line.
That was a great tackle in the middle of linebackers. Davern, Rayner, Kyle Pugh's out there, Lafayette. He's all over the place. But look at the big fella. James Esther. Boom. See Rayner, number 9, textbook tackle.
Getting low, right?
Chest up. Exactly right. Had played with a lot of leverage on that play. He's a big-time guy. Not that big at 6'3", 208, but he plays big.
Yeah, he's a special athlete. Got length and size that really jumps off the screen at you. Young man out of Lawrence Central High School in Indianapolis. Timeout with 1:12 remaining in the first quarter. In a game of big plays so far, 2 of them been made by that man's defense and offense. The pick 6 in the end zone for James Esther, the defensive lineman. And then they had the long touchdown run on the Wildcat by Ontario Brown to take the 14-7 lead. Well, in the footprint of the Mid-American Conference, not unusual to have lots of homegrown players anywhere you go on the road. Lots of Michigan men on this NIU roster. Players all know each other. We've talked about the guys. There's Esther, who's from Detroit, Michigan, out of Cass Tech. His alma mater had a big game last night against Detroit King High School. King beat Cass Tech, which is a big deal around here.
Oh, wow. That's a big win. I mean, that's one of the better rivalries in all of the state of Michigan.
Going for it on 4th down. Powell rolling right, keeps his eyes downfield, and he's going to be sacked back at midfield. He had some time, and then the time ran out as the rush just continued to come. It's a 12-yard loss on the NIU sack. Devontae O'Malley with the big play.
Very interesting deal here. If anything, you want to get rid of the football, even if you don't convert it on 4th down, but you just can't take a sack. But O'Malley, those guys got down the field, stuck with their pass rush lanes, and they were looking for that screen once again, but they took everything away. That's a great tackle.
O'Malley was a high school linebacker and wide receiver at Bremen High School, Midlothian, Illinois. Has played defensive end, now able to play anywhere on that line. A former walk-on.
Offside. Defense number 93 with contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Jordan Crawford, the big fella, moving prematurely, costing his team 5 yards. It looks like Northern Illinois has all the momentum right now. I mean, they're at 1-5. They're desperate for a conference win. They are coming out scratching and clawing.
George Gums, the motion man, now goes back in motion, being trailed by TJ Peavy. Run up the middle on 1st down and 5, gain of 3 to bring up 2nd down and 2. Another flag down after the Brown carry.
Find out what the flag is. Brown can do it from a quarterback spot in the Wildcat, and he can also do it at his natural habitat.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 17, his first of the game. Penalized 15 yards, automatic 1st down.
That's the junior cornerback from Columbus, Mark Lee Jr., flagged for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, I'm from that neck of the woods down in Columbus, man. And I know that program, Northland High School. Great City League talent comes out of Northland, and Mark Lee's one of them. But this time, the young fella got to maintain his poise.
So big 15-yard pickup on the penalty brings up 1st and 10 from the 29. Brown taking his time, picking his way for a pickup of 4. Brandon Benson on the tackle. Transfer from Bucknell University.
That was great blocking on that right side with Shernitz and Potter. I mean, these guys are just creating run lanes because Brown was dancing around for about 4 yards before he even got a finger laid on him. And I mean, if this offensive line continues to play like that, it could be a long day for Eastern Michigan.
Yeah, Coach Hammock says if they need a tough yard, they're going behind that right side. You mentioned Shernitz and Potter. And that'll be the final play of the first quarter in what was not devoid of highlights. We had a lot of fireworks early on here at Rynearson Stadium. The pick 6 to get things started got the Huskies on the board. Highlight for James Esther, and then the long one on the pass play to Poski as he predicted. But Brown says not so fast. Northern up by a touchdown.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Impossible or Bacon Whopper, I rule this day. And BK, have it your way.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, Coach!
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
At GIA, we are trusted to grade some of the rarest, most precious diamonds in the world, including the most valuable one of all, yours. When you found the one, feel confident you're choosing the best with a diamond graded by the experts at GIA.
My wife got old, so it's time to put her in a home.
It's the home I've always dreamed about.
Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Get old.
You're never too old to get old.
She's old.
Back to Benzema! 1-0 to Real Madrid. Siempre somos los dueños del juego. Billones, billones, empezamos de cero. We're making it, dinero, dinero, y no vamos a parar.
Thousands of games, including the one you want. The moments no one has but us. The plays no one has but us. That is hockey on ESPN+.
The decision to pursue an MSA at Northwestern was a no-brainer for me. There is such a tremendous world-class network of people that are truly there to help and want to offer ideas to students that are getting their start in the sports industry. I feel as if every class that I had the opportunity to take has been a chance to better my skill set and my overall ability to contribute in the sports industry.
Alright, Mellow made it right with a bye-bye, bye-bye. You're out, you're mine. Like bye-bye, 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 bye-bye.
Chris Creighton is the 13th longest tenured FBS head coach in college football these days, year number 9 for the former Kenyon College standout. Look at the first half stats. We were not lacking for highlights and big plays, were we, Marcus?
No, we weren't. But both of these teams are going to have to do a little better on third down, though, when they don't make those big plays. But the pass yards in favor of Eastern Michigan, the Northern has the edge on the ground.
Direct snap to Brown on second down, able to pick up a couple of yards. It'll bring up third down and 4 yards. Got to get inside the 20 to move the chains. Peyton Price, sophomore from Lafayette, Indiana, with the tackle.
Outside of the long pass Stapolsky for the touchdown by Taylor Powell and these Eastern Michigan Eagles. This Northern defense has really been stifling, I think, this explosive Eastern Michigan offense.
Rocky Lombardi back onto the field for third down. Tristan Tavis went in motion. Now triple receivers to the bottom of your screen. The running back is Harrison Whaley. Back to throw. Lombardi puts some air under it, and it falls incomplete. Good coverage by Keelan Gully. Another one of the players being worked in defensively in that backfield for Eastern.
Well, when Lombardi's in the game, I think Eastern Michigan is expecting a little more pass, and when Lynch is playing, then they kind of tee it up and load the box a little more to stop the run. And it's good to see Lombardi out there taking some reps, and he's definitely, shown that he can still throw that football and that he's healthy enough to play. But it's a good stop by Eastern on third down.
A 41-yard field goal attempt for Richardson, who in pregame was booting from 55 and had plenty of leg then. He's got plenty of leg here, and Northern Illinois extends its lead to 10 points.
Field goals versus touchdowns in the red zone could determine the outcome of this football game, but give Northern Illinois some credit. I mean, this coaching staff is going with Lombardi, going with Lynch. They got Brown toting the pill. I don't think a lot of people expected them to walk in here and be up 10 points at this point in the game, but they still are the champs.
Well, there you see, this trip for Rocky Lombardi back to Ypsilanti means a little more. His father, Tony, was a standout running back at Arizona State and then got into coaching. It's the family business, football and coaching. And Tony wound up working here at Eastern Michigan for 4 years, including a one-game stint as the interim head coach in a game against, coincidentally, Northern Illinois. And so Rocky, while he was just a toddler living here when his dad was on staff, he doesn't remember it. We do have a picture that we'll get to of him in Eastern Michigan gear as a little towhead watching his dad's team play. So a chance to come back here.
I remember when Rocky was born. It was like 1998. It was the summer going into my senior year, man. And we used to do a lot of stuff for Eastern Michigan and their coaches.
On the short kick, good coverage by the Huskies. But if you're the Eagles, I'd take that every time. Start your possession at the 36-yard line. Jackson Anderson with the return. And there is Coach Lombardi as the assistant from 97 through 2000. It was 1999, that one game where he was the interim head coach. And there's Rocky. And apparently that was at Miami, Ohio. He was rooting against Big Ben Roethlisberger that day.
How about that, man? Look at little Rocco. And it's all in the family, too. You see his brother, Bo, offensive lineman at Army West Point. It's a good football family. Some good-looking guys, too, man.
Sure is. And as you can see, Rocky began his career at Michigan State and then has transferred for his final couple of years of eligibility.
How about that? Born in U of M Hospital.
Yeah, right? Over in Ann Arbor, not far from here.
Goes to Michigan State, and then now he's playing football for Northern Illinois.
That was Darius Boone with the carry, the junior from Tulsa. And don't forget about him. He's got 3 touchdowns this year, 11 for his career, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Taylor Powell at quarterback, one of the captains from Fayetteville, Arkansas. He hands it off. Bouncing it outside is Boone. He's got a first down. Tackle made by Eric Rogers, but not before an 11-yard pickup by Boone.
It's a nice job, too, of just having some patience on that left side, being able to bounce that. It's good vision, too, by Boone to be able to see the hole. It closed up, and he got around the edge.
Tempo for Eastern, trying to find Dylan Drummond, incomplete.
We're seeing Devontae O'Malley in that backfield an awful lot. Big fella, number 90, 95. See Dylan Drummond, good to see him out there. The timing of that route just wasn't there
And the pass rush made Powell get rid of it sooner than he wanted to.
Well, Drummond owns the nation's 4th longest active streak with a reception at 34 straight games coming in. Among the national leaders. He's missed a couple of games with injury this year, so that streak was on hold. But one of the big weapons at the disposal of Taylor Powell. Tries to find one of them over the middle. Again, trying for Drummond. That's consecutive targets, and both fall incomplete.
Powell right now is just not comfortable. He's not in sync. And I think Eastern Michigan probably has to run the ball a little bit more, or possibly spread out this Northern Illinois Huskies defense. But they're going to have to neutralize those 2 interior tackles, Esther and O'Malley. Right now, they're controlling the tempo at the line of scrimmage.
Beydoun in motion. Powell on 3rd and 10. Flag down, and the quarterback is down. 13-yard loss on the sack by Davron Rayner. Let's see if it stands.
You may have a chop block
Personal
here.
foul, shot block. Offense number 28 and 63. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
The chop block is, it's a high-low. You see Revelinsky, he's actually in the game starting at right guard for Alex Howie. So we'll take a look and see right to the right side. Watch the running back and the offensive lineman. You see it was a high-low. One guy went high when the other one was blocking him low. So, you know, it's definitely an infraction there.
In that case, was it the running back Jackson who was at fault, Marcus?
You know what? I would say yes, because he had second contact, and he didn't realize his guard had that block up top first.
Nice job by Cole Tucker to secure that punt. And the Huskies, with a 10-point lead, come back out with their offense.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Impossible or Bacon Whopper, I rule this day. And BK, have it your way.
Fall moments made easy. That's totally Target.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach! Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Man, Drive Time makes it easy to buy a car. You can pretty much do it all on your phone and your own time. I got approved, found tons of cars that I like, and got my personalized financing right here. It's kind of like I'm already at a dealership.
Hey, yeah, you are in a Drive Time dealership.
Hey. Cool. How?
Oh, yeah. Technically, anywhere you are with your phone, you're pretty much in a Drive Time dealership.
Oh, right, because I can basically do it all on my phone. Correct.
Get your down payment, monthly payment, and find the car you need all on your phone.
Did you think you could relax? That you'd seen everything there was to see? Or have you realized you can't look away and that the game has never been better? That is hockey.
A great story has magic, power, and every once in a while, it has miracles. As luck would have it, that's our story.
It is band day here at Rynearson Stadium, Ypsilanti, Michigan. It's not just the Eagles marching band. We've got high school marching bands from all over the area who will be part of a halftime show coming up. But the team they're rooting for, down by 10, Northern Illinois 17, Eastern Michigan 7. And Marcus, I'm telling you, we showed off the top with our blind resume that even though Northern has lost 5 in a row, they're only 1-5. Eastern is 4-2. These two teams are a lot closer than you might think.
Definitely, especially when you watch the stats can be misleading, especially when you play different opponents and SEC and Big Ten guys and things like that. But when they go head-to-head, anything can happen.
Lynch tosses to Whaley, trying to run left. Stopped at the line of scrimmage and ultimately thrown to the ground for no gain. Brandon Benson Young man who grew up in a military family, lived in 3 different states growing up, went to high school in Triangle, Virginia. There you see number 7 in green. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
I think Eastern Michigan needs to get a stop here just to get some field position for their offense and slow down this rushing attack of Northern Illinois.
Justin Lynch, the Temple transfer, got the start at quarterback. On the field now, he's been shuffling in and out with Rocky Lombardi, who is just coming back from a lower body injury, suffered week 3. Flag down. Lynch with a big collision falls forward across the 15-yard line after a 4-yard pickup.
That was a tough run there by Lynch. He took a shot too. Find out what the penalty was.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield. Offense. The penalty is declined. Brings up 3rd down.
And one of the tight ends, looked like they had 2 tight ends in there. It wasn't all, one of them wasn't all the way up on the line. Hard to tell which one it was, but it's a good call by the officials. But see, as they change quarterbacks on 3rd down, Lombardi's coming in for Lynch. They're in a more of a passing look now with Lombardi back on the field.
And you can see that brace on Lombardi's left knee, an injury suffered week 3 against Vanderbilt. He's more one-dimensional than usual when he's 100%. Certainly a passing situation here. Lombardi dumps it off over the middle. Tucker tries to make a man miss. Gets another 5 yards, but he is dropped at the 25-yard line. But not before he picks up 9 yards and a 1st down.
That was a great job by Lombardi, stepping up in the pocket under duress, delivered the throws as he's going back off the field. So they're using him sparingly. You see, he got a little gimp there, and that you mentioned the brace on the left leg, left knee area.
Well, he out of Central Casting is the quarterback. I mean, he's every bit of 6'3", big strapping guy, blonde hair, looks like a surfer, and NFL scouts certainly pay attention to him. And if you're Northern Illinois, you just hope he can get back to 100% before the end of the season. Back to Lynch and back to the ground, and yet another flag.
Yeah, we had a little action on the interior part of that line.
Holding. Offense number 60. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's the left tackle, Evan Buss. And so it negates a 3-yard pickup. Evan made his first career start in 2021 in the Cure Bowl. And in that game, NIU had a season-high 355 yards rushing. That was last year when the Huskies won the Mid-American Conference Championship. And now Rocky Lombardi, who quarterbacked them to that title, back onto the field. He spent 3 years in East Lansing, played 22 games for the Spartans, made 9 starts, 11 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Pass complete, but no yards after the catch, only a 4-yard gain. And I don't want to tell you, but I have to tell you, Marcus, Rocky's best game, perhaps, for Michigan State, do you remember it? Came in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I remember that game.
A couple of years ago. He
that was a tough one.
Led the Spartans to the win over your Wolverines.
Yeah, that was 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Now, Rocky was a nationally ranked high school wrestler at Valley High in Clive, Iowa. Scratch golfer as well. And, you know, he was named for former Pittsburgh Steelers running back Rocky Bleier, Vietnam veteran. And we already illustrated how they are a football family, and I could see where his dad Tony would look up to Rocky Bleier. And I mean, it's a great name, Rocky Lombardi. Come on, how do you get a better football name than that?
Yeah, it just screams toughness all over it. You know, like you mentioned, it's 6'3". I mean, he has all the measurables, checks those boxes.
Ball start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
J.J. Lippy.
So right here is, you'll see Eastern Michigan draw. You see Ramirez moved first, and then, but if that's a real interesting call because there's no consistency from week to week when you watch all of college football. Like who's at fault there?
I agree. 2nd down and 21. Lombardi all day to throw, has a man on the out route. It's Cole Tucker. Young man averaging nearly 80 yards a game, 5th most productive in the MAC. Give him 13 on that play.
Oh, look at the timing. Well, just watch the throw. See, this is who Lombardi is when he's out there playing healthy. That is a great pass in traffic in a crucial situation. One of the things Northern Illinois is doing, they're running 2 tight ends in there because they want Ramirez to have a longer path to the quarterback. So they're not going to just let him get sacks off the edge versus their tackles. He's going to have to beat a tight end.
Yeah, Ramirez is number 0 in green on that defensive line. 4 sacks a week ago. He's got 1 so far today. They keep him at bay, and again, it's Tucker on the receiving end. Northern Illinois' top receiving, couple of plays, and the Huskies are on the move once again. That's a 12-yard gain.
Rocky Lombardi is heating up. He is heating up in the pass game, and I'll tell you, it was probably hard for Eastern Michigan to prepare for this game because there were 2 quarterbacks that were going to play and with 2 different styles. So are you going to spend most of your week trying to stop what Lynch does or try to stop what Rocky does?
And Lombardi has been practicing the last couple of weeks, sharing reps, but he, like the Eastern quarterback, Taylor Powell, when he was out with an injury. Here's Whaley, tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Nicely done by Jordan Crawford. What these guys were able to do, Marcus, you know this. If you are out and you can't physically participate, you can still take the mental reps to keep yourself as sharp as possible, and that's what these 2 quarterbacks have done.
Yeah, and the other thing that they've done, Doug, is they've coached each other up and because it's another pair of eyes. So not only do you take your mental reps, you can see something that the quarterback is out there and it may not be able to see, and you can tell him things like that.
2nd down and 9. Lombardi and Northern Illinois looking to build on their 10-point lead, but he's going to get down, and, well, you know who got home. Jose Ramirez with sack number 2 of the day.
Well, I think it's time we start talking about Jose Ramirez as a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year in the MAC. You see that bull rush, 2-hand bull rush off the edge. He just beat Potter one-on-one. Bull rush when you put 2 hands on the guy and just run him backwards. That's 2 sacks now today, 4 last week. I mean, he's starting to climb up in the national ranks, but was recognized last week nationally for his performance, and he's going to be a Sunday guy. I mean, a guy that can rush the pass, that is something that's a premium in the league.
Lombardi with the screen pass. Back to the original line of scrimmage. 6-yard pickup out of the backfield, Blakemore. Hey, Jose got a helmet sticker from Jesse Palmer last week, too, on college football finals, so people are talking about him. Now, I was doing a game last week that Northern Illinois would just soon forget, but you talk about defensive players of the week. How about Quinyon Mitchell? 4 interceptions in that game for Toledo, including a pair of pick sixes. So you had Ramirez and Quinyon doing big things on the same day.
Hey, I'll tell you what, anytime you get 4 interceptions and take 2, Charles Woodson didn't even do that. Get 4 in one game. And I played with Woodson, and I tell you, take 2 back to the house in the same game. That's on any level, that's amazing.
Somebody may have gotten a piece of that, or it was just a shank. Either way, it continues to roll in Northern's favor, and will come to a stop at about the 33-yard line. Goes for 26 yards. 10-point ball game late in the first half here at Ypsilanti.
Let's make a toast. Here's to savoring every sip.
Want to get that done,
And embracing every moment.
Layla.
Every unexpected, timeless moment. To turning up, winding down, and everything in between. Whatever you're planning or not planning this holiday season, we're made for the moment.
Ion. Electrified. Hungok Tire.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and save big during the 4-day super sale. Get 40% off paints and stains with sale prices starting at $26.69. Hurry, it's only October 14th through the 17th. Shop online or at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store.
When Wingstop made a chicken sandwich, you know they wouldn't make just one. Now you can have 12 new sauce and toss favorites, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, and OG hot. So try the new chicken sandwich for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Thousands of games, including the one you want. The moments no one has but us. The plays no one has but us. That is hockey on ESPN+.
There's a look at Jose Ramirez wearing the number 0 this week as the hard hat defender of a week ago when he had 4 sacks. Well, he's got 2 and counting so far here today, Marcus.
School record, career high, second best individual performance in all of college football this season. I mean, this young man, though, has a great first step. He has all the pass rush moves. Named Reese's Senior Bowl Defensive Player of the Week. That's big time. And that East-West Shrine Bowl breakout Defensive Player of the Week. I played in that college all-star game too, by the way.
How'd you do?
I did pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, I actually returned a kickoff too. John Cooper from Ohio State, he owed me a favor, so he let me return it. And I got my helmet ripped off too from a guy named Dusty Renfro. He played for Texas, so he roughed me up on that. But congrats to Mr. Ramirez.
Yeah, he is a young man of Haitian descent, originally committed out of high school in Florida to South Alabama, flipped late. On first down, that's a nice pickup out to the 45-yard line, 12-yard gain. As Dylan Drummond has now extended his nation's 4th longest active streak with a reception in 35 straight games. Three-yard pickup for Jalen Jackson.
See Eastern going with a little bit of tempo. I like the fact that they ran the RPO, the run pass option. When you fake it to the running back, and as a quarterback, you have to count the box. If they're heavy in the pass, you run it. Those guys are heavy on the run side, and you throw it. And that's what Powell did on that first down play.
Powell fakes the handoff, now dumps it off to the running back, Jackson. Get him in space, and he can make things happen. Lost the football as he hit the turf. Good tackle to keep him from getting to the line to gain a 6-yard gain.
Northern really dropped back far, like pass coverage. They dropped out of there. That's why he checked down to Jackson.
Jackson again. He's got the first down this time. Tackled at the 43-yard line by C.J. Brown.
See Eastern Michigan going with a lot more tempo now. That keeps the defense on their heels because they can't substitute. They have to line up quicker.
Jackson. Eastern just feels like it's a matter of time. You keep feeding number 28, and he's eventually going to bust one.
Yeah, and he has, lightning fast speed. He can hit the home run for sure, and that's why the Huskies are not playing a bend but don't break, but they're not going to take any risk trying to tackle him in the backfield. As you see his numbers on the day.
Yeah, the words this coaches use for him: electric, dynamic, little but tough. There he is running between the tackles again. That'll bring up 3rd down and manageable after the short gain by Jalen Jackson.
See Northern substituting their entire front 4 out. Jackson's coming out the game. A part of this strategy, though, is this is clock management for Chris Creighton and Eastern Michigan. They're down 10 points. They're trying to work in a scoring position. They don't want to give Northern Illinois the football back, so there's a lot of clock management and strategy here on this 3rd down coming up.
Keep an eye on number 9 at the bottom of your screen. We haven't called his name yet. Lassiter, who is continuing to merge as a weapon. They keep it on the ground. Up the middle, going to be about a yard shy is Jalen Jackson. He gains 3.
That was a great tackle down inside. Like Rayner got some help from one of his buddies in there, but that was a great open field tackle because that looked like he was getting ready to pop and be a first down.
Yeah, it looked like Jordan White out of the secondary was also in on that stop. They're going to go for it on 4th down. 2 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in this first half. Handed off up the middle to their money man, Samson Evans. And he has the first down. Been a quiet first half for the MAC's leading rusher so far, but you can't forget about number 22.
Definitely can't do that. 3 touchdowns a week ago. We talked about him at the top of the show, and see he's coming out of the game, but he right there earned his money on that all-important 4th down conversion.
And his younger brother, Carter Evans, starting as defensive end these days for Eastern Michigan. And again, Eastern in no hurry with 1:32 to go in the second quarter. Powell tosses. And a great open field tackle at the 30-yard line by Jordan White, the former Youngstown State Penguin.
This Jordan White is out there wrapping people up. Watch him play in space. When you can tackle a great athlete like that in space, then that just does things for your career, helps your defense. NFL scouts start to look at you. All kinds of good stuff when you run to the ball like that.
Powell just gets rid of the football. And was that O'Malley again, who was once again in the backfield?
He lives back there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about in the present tense, you know, with an S on the end. He lives in that backfield for the Eagles. They're going to have to find a way to block him because his penetration is disrupting the timing, the spacing, and the entire blocking scheme up front.
O'Malley is one of 8 former walk-ons now starting for Northern Illinois. Really something. The player development going on in DeKalb. 3rd down and 8. Powell giving ground, now rolling, still looking downfield. Flags come down and gets what he can inside the 30-yard line, where he was tackled by Isaiah Green May, the former Wisconsin Badger.
This is going to be a holding call, and I actually saw it as it developed, happened, and the referees actually waited for 3 seconds before they called it. You'll see it right to the left of your
Holding.
screen.
Offense number 78. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
You see right in the middle of your screen, it's really 76. Richard Bates, the center. And then you had a little bit more action as the play had developed, but he actually wrapped up O'Malley, trying to stop him from getting back there. That was on Bates, the center.
Is that a problem, you're saying?
They're going to have to double team O'Malley, see.
Well, that play was blown up by Michael Kennedy. An excellent pass rusher out of Mount Carmel High School in Chicago. There was a receiver in the vicinity, so no penalty as the offense comes off the field. So a huge penalty taking them back and out of any thought of going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, they really got knocked out of field goal range.
Charge timeout.
Well, not knocked out of it,
Northern
but
Illinois.
they just didn't execute right there on that last drive. But this Northern Illinois defense is a little different this week.
Yeah.
You spend the day watching your kids' big game. At least one of you is having fun. And Chop House Aioli is calling your name. You want crispy onion strings and a brioche bun. Everything's better with melted cheese. Kevin's dad doesn't understand boundaries. The Sonic Chop House cheeseburger.
Sonic. I didn't win the lawsuit, but everybody knows I wrote that song.
Flo? Gosh, it's been forever. You look fantastic. It's John. Ham, from the blind date we went on years ago?
Ah, the struggling actor who didn't believe he could save his snapshot based on how and how much he drives.
I'd love to talk about it over dinner sometime.
Well, I usually don't talk on the phone during dinner, but for potential customer Tom Ham, I will make an exception.
Oh, boy.
So?
The new iPhone 14 Pro. It's amazing.
Yep, the camera is incredible. And you'll get our best deal.
Nice. But everyone should get it.
Everyone can get it.
Every new customer.
And every existing customer.
Every iPhone.
Every iPhone.
Every iPhone.
Every iPhone.
Okay, my work here is done. Everyone gets the best deal on every iPhone.
Best one yet.
Everyone gets AT&T's best deals on every iPhone, including up to $800 off iPhone 14 Pro.
Are you coming for my job?
Coming up at the half from Ypsilanti, we'll show you Eli's places this week. We'll also have our first half highlights and statistics and our upcoming MAC games. We are just past the midpoint of the regular season, and we are about to see a 58-yard field goal attempt for the Eagles.
Slight wind out here too, so interesting. That ball, if he can power it through and catch a little bit of that wind with an extra lift.
Well, this would be 16 yards farther than his career high of 42 that came in Western Michigan. And it is just below the crossbar, and you saw one of the Huskies was there thinking maybe we can return this if it comes up short, but it did make it through the end zone.
He actually had a pretty good distance on that one. He put his all in there, and that was Cole Tucker back there trying to swat it.
Am I really stuck here?
You sure are. High-def cameras capture hundreds of terabytes of data that is then rendered into dynamic videos like this.
Who are you?
I'm an investor in Invesco QQQ, a fund that gives me access to NASDAQ 100 innovations like volumetric video technology. Selfie? No, I don't like that one. Okay.
Become an agent of innovation with Invesco QQQ. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund objectives, risk, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Olive Garden's never-ending pasta bowl is back. Which means the never-ending pasta you crave is back. Enjoying them with homemade sauces and topping them off again and again, that's back too. Going back for seconds, even thirds, back and back. Starting it all off with our never-ending first course. Well, that's always been here. Never-ending pasta bowl. It's back. Starting at $13.99. Olive Garden. We're all family here.
Man, drive time makes it easy to buy a car. You can pretty much do it all on your phone and your own time. I got approved, found tons of cars that I like, and got my personalized financing right here. It's kind of like I'm already at a dealership.
Hey, yeah, you are in a drive time dealership.
Hey.
Cool. How?
Oh, yeah. Technically, anywhere you are with your phone, you're pretty much in a drive time dealership.
Oh, right, because I can basically do it all on my phone.
Correct.
Get your down payment, monthly payment, and find the car you need all on your phone.
And tonight's winning numbers are 18, 55, 39, 71, and 43.
43?
Those numbers again.
We won! Yes!
Quick! The Quicker Picker-Upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
I'll hold on to that.
Bounty, the Quicker Picker-Upper.
Fall moments made easy. That's totally Target.
Jesus Gomez is a sophomore place kicker from Puebla, Mexico, who goes by either Jesus or Zeus. And according to his head coach, Chris Creighton, he's a god either way. And if he had made this 58-yarder, I think the folks here in Ypsilanti would have treated him as a deity, but he came up just a couple of yards short.
Exactly right. And he felt like he could have hit that. Like he's walking off the field saying, come on, man. I got the leg. Should have made that. Great effort by the young fella.
Great change of direction on that pass play to come back and make the catch. Kasper Rutkowitz. And just what you were saying, Northern Illinois has an opportunity here to put points on the board.
Yeah, during the break, I was thinking that the missed field goal or just the decision to go for that field goal was a little risky because of the field position you would give up versus a hot quarterback.
26-yard pass play from Lombardi. A lot of contact there as they tried to find Tucker, but no flags on the field.
It's good coverage right there. Now if you're Northern Illinois. I mean, second and 10. Still have a timeout. Strategy has to be, I mean, I think they can run the ball, but if they do pass it, I think it has to go to the sideline, or they're going to have to burn their timeout. It's good coverage there by Eastern Michigan.
The two-time captain at quarterback back on the field, Rocky Lombardi. 2nd and 10. Good protection. Dumps it off over the middle. Now they're going to have to stop the clock after a 7-yard gain.
3rd and final charge timeout.
Whaley.
Northern Illinois. 30 seconds.
Had 10 receptions a week ago. Still a weapon out of the backfield in the passing game.
Yeah, Eastern Michigan did a fine job of taking away the sideline and forcing a check down throw to Whaley. And that was a good catch there. But he definitely can hurt people in the pass game. He can do it on the ground as well, too. But that's what Eastern Michigan wanted to happen so that they could force the Huskies to burn that timeout. So they'll give up the check down. They just don't want to give up the outside throws to the sideline and stop the clock.
Well, Coach Hammock has said this year one of the problems, their lack of a dominant run game has hurt us. Takes 11 guys. It's not all on Whaley or Brown or Blakemore. Trying to put up some points and extend this 10-point lead here late in the first half at Rynearson Stadium. Shamar Thornton, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Tucker in the slot. Messiah Travis out there with him on the left side. Lombardi goes to the right side and has a pass play that's completed to Thornton. He steps out of bounds at the 20.
Regardless if Lombardi is healthy, 100%, whatever, he's playing lights out football. And they knew going in, their offense, Northern's offense, was going to look a little different with him in there. And let's be fair, he is the starting quarterback. And when most teams lose their starting quarterback, things can look a little different. But you know, I mean, he's definitely got something going on where he's limping, but he's well enough to play and make throws like that.
Yeah, from the waist up, he has looked great so far here today. So they've moved the football to give a shot to John Richardson at a 39-yard field goal. It is up, and it is good. So Northern Illinois capitalizes on the takeaway in the final seconds of this first half to get 3 points on the board.
Yeah, that really backfired against Eastern Michigan. They had a good drive going, and then they had some mishaps on 3rd down, and they decided to go for a field goal. And they probably felt like they needed the points, but at the same time, with that ball on a 40-yard line like that, if you don't make it, then you give the other guy, Northern Illinois, a chance to do exactly what they just did, is go down and steal 3 points.
Yeah, 6-point swing there in the final minute and a half of this first half. And this Mid-American Conference, year after year, week after week, you just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, these teams are so close typically from wins and losses. It's really remarkable.
Yeah, throw the records out the window. And remember on our call, you know, we asked Coach Hammock, hey, how do you feel like you match up with Eastern Michigan? He said, I think we match up really well with them. And they just wanted to eliminate the mistakes and the penalties and the turnovers. And so far, they've been able to do that in this first half. And I think that defensive touchdown they scored by Esther has been the difference, too.
That was the first touchdown of the game, a pick six in the end zone by redshirt sophomore defensive tackle James Esther. And the Huskies have pretty much been playing from in front. Their defense has kept this high-powered Eastern Michigan offense from really getting going.
And I tell you, last week versus Western Michigan, the Eagles scored 35 points in the first half. I mean, they were hitting on all cylinders, getting 3 and outs on defense, just throwing, just marching down the field, kickoff returns, all kind of stuff was going on. And Coach Creighton told us, hey, that was last week. That was last week, and he said, these Eagles, he didn't think that nothing was guaranteed. They didn't have it figured out. That was just one game, and he wanted to know what they were going to look like today.
And on the final play of the first half, a run by Jackson covers 17 yards.
First half.
In that game last week at Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan head coach Chris Creighton said it was the first week we stacked them. That's the way he talks about stacking plays, stacking victories. Well, they're not stacking them so far this week at home as they trail by 13. It's halftime. in Ypsilanti. The Huskies looking for the road win here today.
Let's make a toast. Here's to savoring every sip and embracing every moment. Every unexpected, timeless moment. To turning up, winding down, and everything in between. Whatever you're planning or not planning this holiday season, we're made for the moment.
Well, I'm not 100% sold yet.
Okay, have you considered...
It's fine, Flo. She's not interested. I get it. Not everyone wants to save money.
What's she doing?
I don't know. Renters and homeowners can bundle and save. For what? A trip to Bora Bora? Bora boring.
Okay, you know what? I'm in.
She's all yours. Want some tacos?
Nah, I'm not really in the mood.
Yeah, you're right. It's so messy. All the napkins, those different toppings.
Actually, I'm in.
Yeah, you are.
Ironic. Edelman's struggling with reception. Time to switch to Verizon, the most reliable 5G network in America.
I'm listening.
You even get a free 5G phone on them.
Touchdown! Switch now and get the new Google Pixel 7 Pro on us, only on Verizon.
What makes for a great story? A great story has magic, power, and every once in a while, it has miracles. It needs an opening that sucks you in, and a mind-blowing ending that has you hanging on every snap. That's what makes for a great story. And as luck would have it, that's our story.
Are you ready for football? No, really. Are you? Are you screaming for football? Dreaming for football?
I love you, Josh Allen.
Are you crafting, parenting, and naming your pets for football? Are you
breaking up with me for football?
Are you dancing, flexing, prepping, jonesing, burrowing, and hyping yourself up for an all-new season of football? Good. Then you're ready.
This is El Clasico.
Hoping I bomb. Great play, I'm taking my energy. Si no te quiero, it's cause you ain't a friend of me. To all who are kin to me, I'm leaving the legacy.
These two giants in the game have faced each other.
A great story has magic, power, and every once in a while, it has miracles. As luck would have it, that's our story.
Thousands of games, including the one you won. That is hockey. Live NHL games from every team. Home and away games when you're away from home. That is hockey. The moments no one has but us. The plays no one has but us. That is hockey on ESPN+.
It's halftime. The Eastern Michigan Band, joined by 19 local high school bands, putting on a performance for the folks here in Ypsilanti. The football team, though, trailing Northern Illinois in a possible upset, 20-7. The defending champs from NIU looking to take down the Eagles. Back with Eli's Places when we come back right after this.
If you get kicked out of your neighbor's yard for stealing their leaves, you're gonna need something to fuel you up so you can sneak back in. Fall hard with the Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew. America runs on Dunkin'.
A Corona and palm trees.
A Corona and calm seas.
And a bomb breeze.
And our strong knees.
It's Andy and Snoop.
And we're eating Guam cheese.
Guam cheese?
Yeah, I don't know. I ran out of rhymes.
Red Riding Hood loved visiting Grandma's house. Unfortunately, others did too. But after saving big with early holiday deals at Amazon, she was ready for those uninvited guests. Who's a good boy? Apparently the big bad wolf.
I didn't win the lawsuit, but everybody knows I wrote that song.
Flo? Gosh, it's been forever. You look fantastic. It's John. Ham, from the blind date we went on years ago?
Ah, the struggling actor who didn't believe he could save his snapshot based on how and how much he drives.
I'd love to talk about it over dinner sometime.
Well, I usually don't talk on the phone during dinner, but for potential customer Tom Ham, I will make an exception.
Oh, boy.
At Drive Time, we approve 99% of people who apply, and we show you your real down payment.
And your real monthly payment.
Right. I almost forgot.
So I can get approved on my phone and see my real down payment. And your real monthly payment.
Yep, we get it, Tim.
Did you get it, Deb?
Yes. In basically 30 seconds, you can get approved and see your real down payment.
And your real monthly payment.
And your monthly payment.
And your monthly payment, all on your phone.
Wow. That's a lot.
I like it.
Get your down payment, monthly payment, and find the car you need all on your phone. Get the real deal at drivetime.com.
There's a little voice inside us. It says you're done. You're not built for this. You can't go on. But there's another voice. It whispers, then it roars. I'm not done yet. Are you? Degree, it won't let you down.
I booked tickets to Paris with my boyfriend. Then we broke up.
It's not you, it's me.
So I took the next best person.
Pick me.
My sister. Sure, we were the only sisters on that romantic cruise, but it's not like my ex would have packed an umbrella. And as we sailed along the Seine, I thought, my sister is the best boyfriend I've never had.
One app, over 300,000 experiences you'll remember. Do more with Viator.
Oh, Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to?
Sprout.
Welcome back. It's halftime at Ypsilanti. Season 2 of Eli's Places is now available on ESPN Plus. In a unique episode, Eli goes undercover as Chad Powers to try out as a walk-on at Penn State.
How do you find your walk-ons here at Penn State?
We have a tryout process, which we do twice a year. Once in the fall, which happens to be today, and once in the spring.
You know, Coach, to truly understand the walk-on experience, I think I need to try out.
We can give it a try, but I worry you'd be a little bit of a distraction.
Let me handle that. If I was going to blend in as a college student, I needed to look the part. So I hired a team of Hollywood makeup artists. I think I need a little backstory. How about this? My name's Chad Powers. I'm a substitute teacher and part-time bartender, and I get to try out for my favorite team. How about that?
I think that'll sell. I think Mark Wahlberg did it, and it was a big hit in Invincible.
How about my name's Chad Powers. I'm a substitute teacher and part-time carpenter, and I get to walk on and try out for my favorite team.
Way different.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Chad Powers. Hey, Chad Powers. So, Chad Powers. Kind of feeling a little Matthew McConaughey from Dazed and Confused. All right, all right, all right.
Whoa!
The name's Powers, Chad Powers, the next great Penn State quarterback.
Well, if you throw as well as that mustache looks, then I think you're going to make the team.
I got a hose. Always have.
Don't come out throwing deep right away. Get some completions in early.
Nope, going deep. Go ball. Go ball, post ball, roll out, double post, post corner, get the arm on tape. You got to get the arm on tape.
I mean, I personally don't like that approach. I'm just telling you, right? The way to make the team is to show them you can move the chains with completions.
Chad does it his way. Chad likes to throw it deep.
Third person. Wow.
Yeah. Fat. The arm's loose. It's oiled up. It's ready to go.
All right. Go get him.
Coach Franklin, Chad Powers. I'm going to be your starting quarterback.
Is that you, Eli?
How'd you know?
I'd know that Manning face from anywhere. I don't know. It's a bad look.
It's a bad look? I thought it would sell.
I think you're going to need this, brother.
Oh, man.
Good luck.
Oh, man. All right. Checking in?
Yes, sir.
How you doing? Right here?
Yeah.
All right.
All episodes of Eli's Places are available anytime on demand on ESPN+. Back with our first half highlights right after this.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X. GMC, we are professional grade.
Fall moments made easy. That's totally Target.
Socks are the #1 most requested item in homeless shelters. Underwear is #2. And t-shirts are #3. That's why we make incredibly comfortable socks, underwear, and t-shirts. And we donate one for every one you buy. We've donated over 50 million items so far. Comfort for you. Comfort for those in need. Comfort for all. Get 20% off your first purchase at bombas.com.
I knew you should have called a pro.
I got this.
Are you a contractor?
No, but I watch a lot of home improvement shows on Sling TV. I'm gonna need a forklift, a laser thingy, 5 tons of concrete, and a stud finder. Don't worry about a permit. The mayor owes me a favor.
With Sling, choose your channel lineup of live sports, news, and entertainment. Be confident it's the TV you love for a price you'll love.
We're gonna need lots of duct tape. The sticky kind.
Maybe too confident. Sling. Try us today.
It's a beautiful time for basketball. A season fresh with hope and stars vying for greatness. NBA Opening Week begins Wednesday and continues Friday on ESPN.
This is El Clasico.
Hoping I bomb. Right play, protecting my energy. See, no te quiero, it's cause you ain't a friend of me. To all who were kin to me, I'm leaving a legacy.
These two giants in the game have faced each other.
Thousands of games, including the one you want. The moments no one has but us. The plays no one has but us. That is hockey on ESPN+. That is hockey.
An interesting first half with Northern Illinois leading by 13 over Eastern Michigan. And Marcus, let's take a look at our highlights from that first half.
Well, things got started on a rough spot for Eastern Michigan here. Taylor Powell's pass was tipped and intercepted by James Esther. That's a pick six. Northern Illinois just played chess early on. See those guys celebrating. Then Eastern Michigan comes right back on the next play when they get the ball. Big time pass, throw, Andreas Posky down the field. Eastern Michigan ties it up right there, and you would think that Eastern Michigan would be able to stop the run, being that Northern Illinois was one-dimensional. As you see Brown, one of our impact players, taking it to the house. And this guy, Rocky Lombardi, taking a sack. I don't think there's a lot of tackles in the country that can block zero, and that is Ramirez. Watch the bull rush. 4 sacks a week ago, 2 today. Somebody's going to have to block zero. A lot of highlights, though, Doug. So we'll see what the second half has to.
Should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Some football.
Fall moments made easy. That's totally Target.
If you get kicked out of your neighbor's yard for stealing their leaves, you're gonna need something to fuel you up so you can sneak back in. Fall hard with the Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew. America runs on Dunkin'.
So I said, yeah, you're saving hundreds with the Home and Auto bundle from Progressive, but there's no saving that casserole.
I just love that word bundle. It's so fun. So, two things coming together like a force of nature. Like it was really meant to be,
Yes. Yes, I do. I'm so glad you want to save money. Rodney, set up a bundle for John Hamm.
Of course. John, is it still cool if I catch a ride home with you?
I never said it was.
But technically you didn't say it wasn't.
It's not.
Yet.
Without the right start to your day, your morning could hit a wall.
Is he okay?
I got it.
Belvita breakfast biscuits are baked with slow-release carbs and provide steady morning energy to help you rise and thrive.
We're Carvana, the company who invented car vending machines and buying a car 100% online. Now we've created a brand new way for you to sell your car. Whether it's a year old or a few years old, we want to buy your car. So go to Carvana, enter your license plate, answer a few questions, and our techno wizardry calculates your car's value and gives you a real offer in seconds. When you're ready, we'll come to you, pay you on the spot, and pick up your car. That's it. So ditch the old way of selling your car and say hello to the new way at Carvana.
This is El Clasico.
They hoping I fall.
Great play,
Protecting my energy. See, no te quiero is cause you ain't a friend of me. To all who are kin to me, I'm leaving a legacy.
These two giants of the game have faced each other.
Thousands of games, including the one you won. That is hockey. Live NHL games from every team. Home and away games when you're away from home. That is hockey. The moments no one has but us. The plays no one has but us. That is hockey on ESPN+.
Halftime still here in Ypsilanti, Northern Illinois with a 20-7 halftime lead over Eastern Michigan with Marcus Ray. I'm Doug Sherman. Here's our first half statistics. What, if anything, is jumping at you right now, former Michigan Wolverine man?
Well, it's third down, and Eastern Michigan struggling. They're 2 of 8. Right now, the Huskies are at 50% at 4 of 8, but everything else is relatively even. I think the difference in the game that's not up there is turnovers. And then you have a pick 6 by James Esther. That right there, I think, was the difference. It was a 14-point swing. And then the field goals. Northern Illinois was able to get that one right before the half and benefited off Eastern missing theirs, giving Northern great field position.
So that's how we started the broadcast, Marcus, showing that statistically these two teams are more even than you might think. And that is, again, bearing itself out so far in the first half. On a short kick, trying to keep the football out of the hands of Jalen Jackson. Effectively, that is done by the Huskies. And so the Eagles will start at the 30-yard line after just a 5-yard return. Busy Saturday around the Mid-American Conference. We've got a couple of final scores, actually 3 final scores, including a non-conference game. Buffalo, no trouble at UMass. Central over Akron. Bowling Green defeated Miami. How about the score in the bottom middle? Kent State leads Toledo at halftime at the Glass Bowl by a field goal.
You just don't know what you're going to get week to week from each team. I mean, Miami beats Kent State a week ago, and Bowling Green, pulling that off against Miami. It's all about matchups, though, Doug. I don't think it's not about who's better than who. It's how do you match up against that team that week.
Well, Daverin Rayner with the tackle to get things started defensively for Northern, holding Eastern Michigan's offense in check. 56 yards rushing for Jalen Jackson, but the passing game has just been okay, and down goes Taylor Powell. He was 7 of 13 passing through that pick six, 109 yards, and most of that came on the long touchdown pass, the 75-yard pass to Poski. Other than that, this defense has held him in check.
And that's a coverage sack, in my opinion. Look how long. He only rushed 4 guys, and then he had time to throw the football, but there was no one to throw it to. And Northern Illinois believes they can get to the quarterback, Powell, without blitzing.
Yeah, and O'Malley getting credit for that 9-yard sack. 3rd down and 20. Keeping the play alive is Powell. Finds a man out near the 40-yard line, and that is a completion. Beautifully done for 18 yards to Dylan Drummond.
Well, Northern Illinois lost contain, but that's a great individual effort there by Taylor Powell to keep that play alive with his legs. I mean, that was a big-time completion. I mean, even though Eastern Michigan's lining up in their punt formation, that easily could have been a 1st down. He had all day to throw the football. And I'll tell you, as a former defensive back, it's hard to cover a guy for 7 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So Coach Creighton dialed up one there. He's probably going to come back to that.
That is the 2nd reception of the ball game by Drummond, as Tucker is given ground, and that football finally does just reach the end zone. And so Northern Illinois will bring it out to the 25-yard line. 20-7, Northern leading Eastern.
The decision to pursue an MSA at Northwestern was a no-brainer for me. There is such a tremendous world-class network of people that are truly there to help and want to offer ideas to students that are getting their start in the sports industry. I feel as if every class that I had the opportunity to take has been a chance to better my skill set and my overall ability to contribute in the sports industry.
My partner got old.
Getting old means we got the financing to go from micro to macro.
Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter. Get old.
You're never too old.
To get old.
I booked tickets to Paris with my boyfriend. Then we broke up.
It's not you, it's me.
So I took the next best person. Pick me. My sister. Sure, we were the only sisters on that romantic cruise, but it's not like my ex would have packed an umbrella. And as we sailed along the Seine, I thought, my sister is the best boyfriend I've never had.
One app, over 300,000 experiences you'll remember. Do more with Viator.
You know what beats next day shipping? Getting it the same day. So shop Ace online and get free in-store or curbside pickup right in your neighborhood. Or get what you need delivered the very same day you order.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Thousands of games, including the one you want. The moments no one has but us. The plays no one has but us. That is hockey on ESPN+.
Are you ready for football? Are you dreaming for football?
I love you, Josh Allen.
Are you crafting, prepping, and screaming for football? Good. Then you're ready.
The Huskies 20, and the Eagles 7 back at Rynearson Stadium in Ypsilanti. So glad you've joined us here on ESPN Plus with Marcus Ray. I'm Doug Sherman, and there we are once again. Well, the football season certainly feels like football weather here. Low 50s down into the 40s if the game goes long enough for sundown. There was sundown again momentarily. But a perfect day for football. Although I'll tell you what, for the folks on the other side of the football stadium, they're happier than the side in front of us in the shade. Much better to be in the sun today.
Oh, yeah.
But a beautiful day for football. And now this Eastern Michigan team, 1-1 in MAC play, 4-2 overall, but they have just not been able to get it going either way. Brown was the runner that time for the Huskies. And that was a 1-yard loss thanks to the tackle by the former Boston College Eagle, Joe Sparacio. He's a coach's kid. His father, Billy, out of Naples, Florida. And Sparacio, along with Chase Klein, who we featured off the top, you know, coming from a higher level of college football. Brown trying to make something out of nothing, but he is tackled from behind by T.J. Peavy.
That was a good run there by Brown, making something out of nothing. You saw the shake and bake and the wiggle trying to get around that edge. I think Eastern Michigan knows. Good tackle in space. Nevertheless, they have to get a stop here. And I think the reason why is so they can get some field position.
Rocky Lombardi on 3rd down and 9. See what the offensive coordinator Eric Eidsness has in mind. Nearly intercepted. Great job defensively to step in by Kempton Shine, the junior out of St. Rita in Chicago.
Might have seen a little bit of rust here, and I'm going to show you this on this replay, Doug. Rocky Lombardi locked on to his guy. Missed a wide open wide receiver when we come back to it. I'm going to tell you, but that's good coverage by Eastern Michigan. But watch. So he has plenty of time to throw the ball. Tight end wide open by himself. It's a missed opportunity, but nevertheless, that's a good stop by the Eagles.
Now does Tristan Tavis, that tight end, go back and tell his quarterback, hey, look for me?
Yeah, so they're going to be in the booth talking about it, saying, let's go back to Tristan on that one.
Fair catch called for at the 42-yard line by Dylan Drummond. And so now the Eastern Michigan offense will come back out. We've not seen much from Samson Evans. He is the MAC's leading rusher, averaging 105 yards per game on the ground, 16th best in the country. In the first half, only 4 carries for 4 yards.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, you know, is he banged up or is this a game plan deal where he just decided to go with Jackson? But one time Samson was running off the field, he looked like he had a little slight something going on. It was hard to tell, but nevertheless, though, these Eagles need to find somebody and somewhere to run this football to keep his defense honest.
So it's Jackson again in there at running back. Fake the handoff to him. Find Drummond. Great catch at the 40. Inside the 30. Ball comes loose. Covered by Eastern. It's a big play for the Eagles. 28 yards on the pass play.
Take a look. RPO, hold it, read it, boom. Powell pulls it, and that RPO action takes the safeties out of the play because they have to run the alley and get in the run support lanes.
Eric Rogers forced the fumble. Canoe was able to fall on it. And so Eastern Michigan on first down runs Jackson up the middle again.
Eastern Michigan's got some life. I think they need to go back to that RPO action because what it'll do, it'll create a one-on-one matchup on the outside with your receivers. And then also, you can give it to the running back if those safeties start staying and trying to double team from their safety spot. So when you run RPO, you're trying to create conflict somewhere on the field, Doug.
Marcus, 2nd down and 10. Drummond was the man in motion. Looking over the middle. Pass deflected and knocked down. I believe that was DeMond Taylor, big number 10. Redshirt sophomore from East St. Louis, Illinois.
East St. Louis. I'll tell you what, I mean, the front four for Northern Illinois, O'Malley, Thomas, Esther, Green May. I mean, these guys are playing. If every time they can't get to the quarterback, You see hands flying up in the air. That's a great deflection. And also what they're doing is they're rotating 4 at a time every 3 to 4 plays up front.
On that pass, he was trying to find the big tight end Poski again. Drummond couldn't haul it in. Good coverage that time. A diving attempt by Eric Rogers, who makes another play. Well, he had a couple of interceptions week 1 against Eastern Illinois, earned the MAC West Defensive Player of the Week. And he continues to be a playmaker on the back end for Northern Illinois.
That was a great pass breakup, pass deflection. Coverage was there on a comeback route. You saw Rogers earlier run down the field, punch the football out too.
From 46 yards out, Gomez has plenty of leg. Points on the board for Eastern Michigan. Call him Jesus, call him Zeus. Either way, he's got that field goal. 3 more on the board for the Eagles, who are back within 10.
Okay, this is a freezer, not a time capsule. Sometimes the house itself can tell you how a young homeowner is turning into their parents.
Not those two.
Yep, they're gone.
Forever?
Yep.
That there is Progressive's Home Quote Explorer website, where I compared home insurance rates.
We don't need to print the internet. Some are beyond help. I will give you $100 if you can tell me what this is.
Scotch egg.
It's a meatball.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer.
We've got a lot of work to do.
Jeez.
Ironic. Edelman's struggling with reception.
2 things I hate dropping: balls and calls.
Well, you need a better network. Time to switch to Verizon, the most reliable 5G network in America.
I'm listening.
You even get a free 5G phone on them.
Sweet.
So now, whether you're in the city or on the road,
Reception.
and getting the network you want and a brand new phone.
Touchdown!
Oh! Touchdown!
Switch now and get the new Google Pixel 7 Pro on us. Only on the network America relies on. Verizon.
At Marshall's, we get you more for your money. More brands, more quality, more fashion. Way more for way less. We get the deals. You get the good stuff. Marshall's.
Who says you can't go for bold without going broke? Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
Dylan Drummond, a big part of the 5-play, 30-yard drive that resulted in the 46-yard field goal by Gomez to get Eastern Michigan back to within 10 here on their home turf. And there is a look at Mr. Drummond's status nationally. Now, he was injured week 2 at Louisiana, returned week 6 at Western Michigan with 4 catches for 49 yards and a touchdown in the win over the Broncos. They need him to be one of the big producers on the outside.
They definitely do, and they showed flashes there with that RPO, but beat the drum, man. How about the play on words there? I like that.
Beat the drum, I like it.
Yes, no, he's a big-time wide receiver. I mean, he's always a threat to score, and I think he's a hard guard. It just means he's a matchup problem. And Northern Illinois knows that, and that's why they're trying to bottle up these talented wideouts of Eastern Michigan, which is how Poski was open at tight end. So they want the tight end in the running game to beat them.
One of the up men grabs the kick, pinballs his way out to about the 30-yard line. Yeah, Dylan Drummond was third-team All-Conference back in 2019. His 2020 was limited by injury. Of course, that was the pandemic year as well. Last year, Drummond caught 64 passes, 704 yards, 6 touchdowns, and he has been productive when healthy again so far this year for Eastern. Out of Cuyahoga Heights, a graduate student from Cleveland. One of the 3 amigos. Now, what'd you call them? The 4-pack?
The 4 horsemen.
The 4 horsemen.
Yeah. Oh, Ric Flair back in the day. Thursday night action. Yeah. Woo! Ole on Rick the horse. Woo! Man, I grew up on that, Doug. Don't get me started.
I didn't realize I did get you started, but Lynch goes out of the backfield, so they snap it directly to Harrison Whaley, and that play has been effective at times for Northern. 13 yards on the pickup.
Watch the replay. You get guards pulling, tight ends, fullbacks, just everybody lead blocking. This is what Northern Illinois ran in the first half and got a lot of success. And Brown was able to take one from that Wildcat single wing look. Single wing is just when the guy that catches it at quarterback takes off running with the football.
Yeah, that fullback was Brock Lampy, redshirt freshman from Kenosha, Wisconsin, with a nice lead block. Lynch back in there, takes the snap, hands it off. A little more traditional look for Whaley, who picks his way for a yard. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9. Why is the direct snap, the Wildcat, so effective? Why is it so hard for the defense to identify and stop that guy?
Well, because the quarterback becomes a part of the play. Normally when there's a run play, the quarterback hands the ball off and he watches. He doesn't block anybody. But now when the quarterback runs it and you have a free safety or guys way out of the box, now you outnumber the defense in the box when the quarterback runs the ball.
And here it is again. Whaley has a hole, lots of space. Big pickup. Move the chains one more time, and a nice tackle once again by Chase Klein. If not for that, Whaley would have picked up more than 14.
Let's look at right there. When you stop the camera right there, Northern Illinois has 10 to 11 people in the box. In that picture, Eastern Michigan only has 6 to 7. So a formation like that, where you get a single wing look, and Whaley, they have more blockers than Eastern has defenders, and that's why that play was successful.
I wasn't a math major at Syracuse, but I know that, what'd you say, 11 is more than 6.
That's right.
Here we go again. Whaley off the direct snap, gets to the 40-yard line, solid 4-yard pickup on 1st down. Well, the sophomore from Johnston, Iowa, he has been explosive. Week 5, 3 touchdowns, 230 yards at Ball State. His numbers are ticking up here today as he heads to the sidelines for a break. And so Brown comes back in. And Brown goes wide right with the traditional quarterback Justin Lynch. Back of center, fakes the handoff. Lynch up the middle, another big hole. He's got a 1st down and much more. Inside the 20-yard line, finally chased out of bounds. After a huge gain, Quintavious Scandrett stopped that one after 26 yards.
Long time ago when I used to play football, they told us when the inside receivers covered up and then you see the off receiver, when he's off the ball, he's going in motion, it's 100% run. This is a great play design. You see Tavis coming to lead the block for Lynch.
Quarterback vacates the backfield. Brock Lampy, the fullback, tries to set a block, but this time the Eastern defense was ready for Ontario Brown. Once again, Jordan Crawford, big number 93 on the nose. He's from Houston, Texas, and he continues to make plays for Eastern.
Yeah, he's a tough guy to block in there at 325 pounds. Now when the field gets a little shorter, what happens, Doug, is now the defensive backs start to crowd the line. When you're out in space to 50 or 40, you can't really stack the box versus this formation. But now when there's a shorter field, you don't want anybody in the end zone, so now you can get more guys in the box defensively.
By himself in the backfield, has plenty of blockers. Bounces it outside, inside the 10 with a flag down in the backfield. He's tackled at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, we're going to get a holding call here.
Holding for 82, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Tristan Tavis, redshirt sophomore tight end from Pleasant Plains, Illinois.
Yeah, he got a hold of Chase Klein on that play there. You'll see it's going to happen to the right side of your screen. Here it comes right there. The tackle, blocking the back, all holding the whole deal. But when you're a fast, physical linebacker like Chase Klein, you're going to disrupt those pulling plays and those counters, when you get penetration and you shoot your gun in the back door, just means attack downhill.
On 2nd and a mile, Lombardi back out there, slings it to his man. Cole Tucker, 6'3", 195. Who does he remind you of?
He is the Jordy Nelson of the MAC Conference, a former great wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, his stature, 6'3", slim build, very athletic. Let's talk about this throw. You want to know what makes guys pros and what doesn't. You want to know if a guy can play on tight coverage. And if you can make those kind of throws, you can play on Sunday.
After the 8-yard gain, 3rd down and 12. Lombardi stays out there. Another pitch and catch down to the 10-yard line. That's going to be short of a first down, but it does pick up 8 more yards on the completion to Casper Rutkowitz.
Here's the deal. Northern Illinois strategy, ground and pound, wildcat, single wing for 40 or 50 yards. After you wear them down, put your passing team in there with Rutkowitz and Cole Tucker, got Lombardi in there, and then you start slinging it. And he was going for the ball. He was trying to get it out there defensively. It's Joshua Scott.
John Richardson back on for a field goal attempt of 28 yards. Out of the hold of Tom Foley. And he puts it through the uprights. So the 3 points Eastern got earlier in the 3rd quarter, Northern Illinois gets them right back. An impressive drive results in a field goal by John Richardson.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Impossible or Bacon Whopper. I rule this day. And BK, have it your way.
Let's make a toast. Here's to savoring every sip.
Want to get that done,
And embracing every moment.
Layla.
Every unexpected, timeless moment. To turning up, winding down, and everything in between. Whatever you're planning or not planning this holiday season, we're made for the moment.
Some days it feels like you could run forever. Until you're way, way out there. And you're 2 hours late and you need a ride home.
Hulu Ad Manager is the easy way for businesses like yours to advertise on Hulu. Think of it, your ads on a platform with the best TV around. Get started for as little as $500 per campaign. Sign up for Hulu Ad Manager today.
The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X is equipped to conquer the great outdoors. Or the great indoors. Welcome to the peak of premium off-roading. The new 2023 GMC Sierra AT4X. GMC, we are professional grade.
I didn't win the lawsuit, but everybody knows I wrote that song.
Flo? Gosh, it's been forever. You look fantastic. It's John. Ham, from the blind date we went on years ago?
Ah, the struggling actor who didn't believe he could save his snapshot based on how and how much he drives.
I'd love to talk about it over dinner sometime.
Well, I usually don't talk on the phone during dinner, but for potential customer Tom Ham, I will make an exception.
Oh, boy.
'21 MAC Coach of the Year Thomas Hammock during that last break. Not happy about something here, Marcus.
Yeah, it's having a lot of discussion and probably has something to do with that holding call or something to that matter, because he feels like that play was ran, executed well, and you don't see Coach Hammock getting after having conversations with officials often, so he must have saw something. But this is a fine so far he's done a fine job of rallying his troops, his 1-5 football team, the defending 2021 MAC champions. And people were starting to count this team out, and he said on the call they would be just fine. And he felt like they matched up well with anyone. And so they made a few changes, though, dialed back some of the practice time hours, and you know, they stayed very positive with their football team.
Well, his words to us were, quote, "It's still a championship team. We're not discouraged by any stretch." Beydoun tackled from behind on the kick return. Yeah, Thomas Hammock 12 years ago told then Deputy Athletic Director Sean Frazier that he would someday be NIU's head coach. And then 8 years later, as the AD, Frazier did hire Hammock as his head coach. And Hammock was prophetic that he was going to be the first alumnus to go back in the FBS era to become head coach at NIU.
Yeah, and he's done a fine job, too. I mean, they have a lot of youth guys with sophomore, junior eligibility. Really built that program up in a down year in the COVID 2020 season, and then came right back with a championship and fought some adversity. I mean, they've been on the road 3 out of the last 4 weeks, so they haven't spent much time at home either.
Got to figure once again something's up with Samson Evans, their 100-yard-per-week running back who remains sidelined. Jalen Jackson gets the give on first down for no gain.
And the thing about Samson not really being in there or not being as effective as he was is it doesn't allow them to be as balanced as Chris Creighton would like for them to be in the run game versus the pass. Like Powell had 3 touchdown passes last week. Samson had 3 touchdown runs. And when you have to defend both, this Eastern offense is hard to stop.
Taylor Powell at quarterback, the former Missouri Tiger, who spent last year playing for Troy. Rifles one left side, incomplete. Trying to find Canoe, but it is broken up. Amarian Knighton, the freshman from Hollywood, Florida. One of the true freshmen playing bigger roles as the season's gone on for NIU.
There's Samson Evans right there. We're trying to figure out what's going on. But nevertheless, Knighton, that was a great play. And he struggled a couple weeks ago against Ball State. They kind of went after the true freshman. And by 7 games in the year, if you're a starter, you're not a freshman anymore. He didn't look like one on that last pass breakup.
Well, he received a special mention a couple of weeks ago in the Athletic for his 10-tackle performance. A diving attempt, but incomplete. Into double coverage. Canoe nearly made a highlight play.
We'll take a look there. That's actually excellent coverage. This is called good football because that's great coverage, but excellent ball placement. And another tremendous effort to try to catch the ball by Canoe.
Well, through the first 6 games of the year, Northern Illinois had used 5 different sets of starting DBs. We talked to the defensive coordinator, Nick Benedetto, about that. He said the hardest part is trust. And so he has had speed dating, what he calls speed dating, putting each of his defensive backs in a room, asking them questions, and you've got to answer in 1 second to help build that knowledge and trust between them. And you, as a former outstanding defensive back, tackle made at the 45-yard line, as nowhere to go for Cole Tucker. You understand what that's about. I mean, if you guys with the Wolverines had a revolving door, as we've seen here defensively for NIU, that would cause trouble for you guys. As good as you were, that would have been a problem.
Yeah, it takes
the kicking team. That 10-yard penalty be added to the end of the return. 1st and 10.
Yeah, it takes away from the continuity of your secondary. And also, you don't trust the guy next to you because the communication a lot of times is just not the same. So a lot of times when I used to tell Charles Woodson where the ball was going, and I did that. I mean, that was my job as a safety, to anticipate and call out routes. But if we would have had a revolving door with multiple safeties, Charles wouldn't have felt as comfortable with someone else telling him, hey, this is what's getting ready to happen, and vice versa. So just being a former secondary guy is hard when you're not playing with the same guys over and over. Because then you can play off of each other, too.
Yeah. Well, that's the nature of athletics, college athletics. Next man up, and you got to figure it out. And that's the fun of college football, because you're going to lose people throughout the year. Whaley brought down on a nice tackle by the former All-Patriot League first-teamer from Bucknell, Brandon Benson. Penalty marker down.
It's a fine tackle. That was a fine tackle by Brandon Benson, coming from his safety position.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 6. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. 1st and 10.
That's the alpha dog of this Eastern Michigan defense. They say Chase Klein just won't shut up. They say it in a good way, of course, but he picks up the penalty. Young man out of Chardon, Ohio.
You know, us Ohio guys, we like to talk that talk, but the reason Coach Creighton is disappointed is because that's one of his captains making a dead ball foul versus in a situation where you're already on a short field and you're down 2 scores.
Direct snap, Whaley. Good burst. Boy, didn't look like there was going to be enough room there, but he picked up 7. Maybe a little slow to get up. Yeah, he's got a little something going on with one of those wheels.
That was a hard, tough run, too, in between the tackles. And you'll see from this back view, you get a pull. And he follows through in there, bang. So he got hit up top. Someone kind of fell on that leg and in that pile. He was so slow to get up there. So you see him. And the best thing that you should do, honestly, though, in that situation, you know, we're all tough guys and we want to tough it out and get off that sideline, but you can actually make whatever that is worse if you don't just go ahead and take it. But take the break.
Yeah.
Get the attention and care that you need during the game.
Let's get you up to date around the Mid-American Conference on this Saturday. Central Michigan goes to Akron and beats the Zips by a touchdown. Bowling Green has defeated Miami. Buffalo, the non-conference win over UMass. Ball State hangs on to beat UConn 25-21, another non-leaguer. Toledo and Kent State playing a beauty there late in the third quarter at the Glass Bowl. And Ohio up 6 in the third quarter in Kalamazoo. And so your up-to-date standings look like this. And you and I have been talking about the fact that if Northern can get this win, you know, 1-2 is a heck of a lot different in the league than 0-3 and puts them right back in the middle of the conversation.
Definitely, and it's still early. You can run the table. You see Toledo's at the top right now. Ball State at 2-1. Buffalo, though, those guys, you know, they beat Eastern Michigan. They beat Miami, Ohio. So it's going to be interesting.
Brown, first down. Out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. The Huskies putting together another nice drive. That's an 8-yard gain. And the former NIU all-star running back and currently head coach loves what he's seeing out of Ontario Brown.
Yeah, he definitely loves it. And this is a thunder and lightning kind of combination. We talk about Harrison Whaley as lightning, Brown as the thunder, and they can hit you inside and outside. They just wear people down with that. Well, today they're wearing Eastern Michigan down, I think, up front. Look at that line. You got 8 guys across that surface.
And we'll see if Lightning is able to come back in. Harrison Whaley on the sideline being treated. Give it to Brown straight up the middle for a short gain. Actually, he picks up maybe 4.
Northern Illinois is not in any rush. They're going to take their time. They're going to ground and pound their way into a situation where they can go up 3 scores. And with a struggling Eastern Michigan offense, it's going to be tough to come back from that. But Eastern can strike fast. But this defense, I think they're going to have to try to strip the football out, possibly start shooting some guys in those gaps from the second level.
Now, Jose Ramirez has just come off the field for Eastern Michigan, facing second down and 5 yards to go. Directly to Brown, patiently, finds a crease. Gains 4. That'll bring up 3rd down and 1. I'm sorry, Marcus. Big
good.
3rd down here. If you can force a field goal attempt here as opposed to letting them get that first down and continue to drive it, be a huge stop for EMU.
Yeah, that would be a win, honestly, for the defense if they can keep them out of the end zone. But there's a lot of extracurricular activity going on. It's getting physical. I'm telling you, I guarantee you Northern Illinois has a pass play off of that, where Brown's going to fake it like he's running and throw it right out to Lynch, because the defense is not honoring his motion right now.
Again out of the Wildcat on 3rd down and 1. Brown follows his fullback, cuts it up, dives to the end zone. Touchdown! But a flag is down at about the 2-yard line. Well, Hammock certainly thinks this is going to stand.
We're about to find out because Northern Illinois lined up in a real interesting formation there. I'll explain it a little later, but that was...
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 19. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the kickoff. Touchdown.
So there you go. The Sparacio face mask does not alter the play.
Let's take a look and see where Sparacio committed this violation. Right, you see him to the right of your screen, takes on the block, and right there he reaches out, grabs the face mask as Brown ran through that tackle and face mask to extend this lead.
And going for 2, Lombardi back in there, fires a strike just off the hand of Rutkowitz. And so the score remains 29-10 Northern Illinois.
Here's the strategy for going for 2 points. That's a great call right there. 29, you're only up 19. If you kick it, you're only up 20, but you want to go up to that 21 to make it an even. 19 and 20 is the same score, basically, right, strategically speaking. But if you go for the 2 and convert, you get 21. You see Brown. Oh, no, this is a 2-point conversion. Yeah, that right off the fingertip. That's a good call because the matchup they had with Rutkowitz matched up on a safety in the slot like that. See Rocky getting fired up over there saying, come on, man.
I'm telling you, he is central casting. 6'3", blonde hair. Got a rifle for an arm. And just working his way back into the lineup. Came off the bench today for the first time since a lower body injury suffered on a slide against Vanderbilt week 3. We have not seen his mobility at all today. When he's been pressed, he has just gone down. He has not tried to extend a play or run. But from the waist up, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's slinging the ball all over the yard, and he's doing it when it matters. And they're not asking him to take every snap. You know, we were expecting him to only play 10 to 15 snaps, and he has exceeded that.
Well, it's been clear Northern Illinois tried to keep it out of Jackson's hands, who fumbled. The ball made its way to the NCAA leader in return yardage, and he turns it over. My goodness. Jalen Jackson averaging 36 yards per kick. The Huskies has been desperate to keep it away from him, and the one time the ball finds him, he loses it.
Yeah, it's just when you watch it here in traffic, he has the ball in one hand. You have to keep that ball high and tight, you know, and you mentioned 36 yards per return, nation's leader. But when you watch it, you'll see in traffic, the ball gets a little bit away from his body. Ball comes out.
And now Northern Illinois can really seize control of things if it can punch it in late in the third quarter. Direct snap. Positive yardage for Mason Blakemore, the sophomore running back from Centralia, Illinois. Give him 2 yards. And the clock continues to run. Final 30 seconds of this third quarter. And with that, the Huskies offense trots to the sideline, holding 4 fingers up, saying we're content to go to the fourth quarter with this 19-point lead.
They're playing with a lot of confidence right now. They have all the momentum. Coach Creighton's going to have to rally his troops to figure something out, and they desperately need to stop. You can't give up a touchdown here, or it's going to probably get out of reach. But here's Brown. Ontario Brown with a great effort. Ran right through a face mask to give his team a 3-score lead. Huskies up 19.
Well, I'm not 100% sold yet.
Okay, have you considered... It's fine, Flo. She's not interested. I get it. Not everyone wants to save money.
What's she doing?
I don't know. Renters and homeowners can bundle and save. For what? A trip to Bora Bora? Bora boring.
Okay, you know what? I'm in.
She's all yours. Want some tacos?
Nah, I'm not really in the mood.
Yeah, you're right. It's so messy. All the napkins, those different toppings.
Actually, I'm in.
Yeah, you are.
Ask Sherwin-Williams and save big during the 4-day super sale. Get 40% off paints and stains with sale prices starting at $26.69. Hurry, it's only October 14th through the 17th. Shop online or at your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store.
Fall moments made easy. That's totally Target.
Wherever we come from, we all have one thing in common. We all want the incredible new iPhone 14 Pro. Now at T-Mobile. T-Mobile gives you Apple TV Plus included. So watch your favorite Apple originals on iPhone's most advanced display ever. Get iPhone 14 Pro on us with Apple TV Plus included. Now at T-Mobile.
I booked tickets to Paris with my boyfriend. Then we broke up.
It's not you, it's me.
So I took the next best person.
Pick me.
My sister. Sure, we were the only sisters on that romantic cruise, but it's not like my ex would have packed an umbrella. And as we sailed along the Seine, I thought, my sister is the best boyfriend I've never had.
One app, over 300,000 experiences you'll remember. Do more with Viator.
The game has never been better. That is hockey.
Are you ready for football? No, really. Are you? Are you screaming for football? Dreaming for football?
I love you, Josh Allen.
Are you crafting, parenting, and naming your pets for football? Are you
Breaking up with me?
for football? Are you dancing, flexing, prepping, jonesing, burrowing, and hyping yourself up for an all-new season of football? Good. Then you're ready.
Eastern Michigan, 14 in the first, 29 total. I think that defensive score really was the difference. But you see that second quarter, Eastern Michigan wasn't able to muster up any points. Doug, what do you think about these stats, man?
Well, the one thing Coach Creighton lamented this week to us on our call was that they have not yet through 6 weeks won the turnover battle. They've tied a couple of times, but that's bearing out again today. 2 costly turnovers. The first one was that pick six that was immediately turned into 6 points. And then a fumble here on the kickoff has Northern Illinois knocking on the door one more time. So again, turnovers have really been a problem for Eastern, and give Northern credit, they have not turned it over at all yet today.
Third down's been a problem too. You saw 2 of 11 there. That, if you're not moving the ball on third down, that means that you're not finishing drives. Turnovers are drive killers, and so are third down missed conversions.
On the season, Eastern third down conversion rate 51%, tops in the MAC, top 10 in the country. Here is third down for Northern Illinois. 3rd and 7. The quarterback keeps it right up the middle. That's some of the wiggle we have seen from Justin Lynch. You've got to account for the Temple transfer. He picks up 10 yards. It's a huge first down.
Just the play call by design, lining up receivers close to the sideline, opening up the middle of the field, the patience of Lynch to allow his blockers. Watch the pull action. Everyone's blocking down, and it's a good tackle there to save a touchdown. But I will tell you this, though, that play by design worked like a charm.
Back to the Wildcat. We have not seen Whaley come back into the game. Now he is in the game. Fake the handoff to him. Brown keeps it, and he doesn't have much room to run.
Northern Illinois turned it into a tough man contest. And what they challenged Eastern Michigan to do is get in the phone booth where there's not a lot of space to run. Let's go toe-to-toe and find out if you really can you take a punch. And that's the mentality of how they played. And you got to tip your cap to that offensive line so far. If you're going to run this style of offense, then those big guys up front are roughing people up.
Well, Northern Illinois, as Lynch runs it again on a design quarterback keeper, flag comes down. Until somebody else knocks them off, they may be 1-5, but they are still the reigning MAC champions.
Reigning MAC champions.
Offense number 82. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
That's on Tavis, the tight end. And Northern Illinois has won 5 MAC championships since 2011, including last year. So you're right. They're ready to step up and go toe-to-toe.
Sometimes when you lose, it galvanizes your team. Some teams fold the tent, but this is a championship, defending championship team here. And they weren't just going to lie down. They weren't going to say, okay, they're 0-2 in the conference, 1-5 overall. No, sir. They came out to a red-hot Eastern Michigan team here in Ypsilanti, and they showed up.
Second down and 20. Lynch, the quarterback, is split out wide right. They run it again on the direct snap. Whaley spun to the turf at the 20-yard line. That time nowhere to go. Nicely done by Joe Sparacio after a 5-yard gain.
Sparacio's a pretty good athlete, too. I mean, he runs around. He's smart. He hits people. But it's good to see Whaley out there after he had some type of little minor injury. And he comes back running the football. Northern Illinois is going to milk as much time as possible as they line back up in this single wing with the running back at quarterback. We call it the Wildcat in the new school, but it's really a single wing look. Watch for the pull and the counter to the left.
Following Brock Lampy, the fullback, Brown makes the first man miss, can't make the second man miss. Wrapped up and brought down at the 17-yard line. Nicely defensed. TJ Peavy, one more time, coming up with another tackle.
You'll see Brown there faking the jet sweep. He has the speed to get outside, but I like the leverage. Leverage means the position you are on the ball carrier. He was inside out, and he was able to make a great tackle on Brown. Peavy running inside out. That was excellent run support leverage.
Richardson already has field goals from 41, 39, and 28 yards out. This one from 33 yards. And the gentleman who a year ago was the second leading scorer in the MAC has 12 points all by himself for head coach Thomas Hammock. The lead stretched to 22 after another field goal from John Richardson right into your living room.
Before we begin, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Liberty Mutual. They customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. And by switching, you could even save $652. Thank you, Liberty Mutual. Now, contestants ready? Go! Why? Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I knew you should have called a pro.
I got this.
Are you a contractor?
No, but I watch a lot of home improvement shows on Sling TV. I'm gonna need a forklift, a laser thingy, 5 tons of concrete, and a stud finder. Don't worry about a permit. The mayor owes me a favor.
With Sling, choose your channel lineup of live sports, news, and entertainment. Be confident it's the TV you love for a price you'll love.
We're gonna need lots of duct tape. The sticky kind.
Maybe too confident. Sling. Try us today.
The Audi 2022 MLS Cup Playoffs. Time to show it to the world. Today at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC, then 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
This is El Clasico. These two giants in the game have faced each other.
It's a beautiful time for basketball. A season fresh with hope and stars vying for greatness. NBA Opening Week begins Wednesday and continues Friday on ESPN.
On a cool and breezy late afternoon at Rynearson Stadium. Welcome back, everybody. We're in Ypsilanti, Michigan, with Northern Illinois trying to pull away 32-10 your lead over Eastern Michigan. And I wonder if Taylor Powell's right arm can get Eastern back in the game. He started this game 5 for 6, 91 yards, touchdown, and an interception. Remember, though, 75 of those 91 yards passing came on one play. Since then, he is only 4 of 13 for 66 yards.
Yeah, and it's been tough up front, trying to block O'Malley and the boys. And then at secondary, knocking down passes back there. Talking about guys like Knighton and Rogers playing extremely well, and Jordan White, too.
Again, trying to keep the football away from Jackson. It's one of the up men for a short return for Eastern Michigan out to the 28-yard line.
See Erweiler with the tackle get down there. Remember, they fumbled that kickoff the last time. Chris Creighton takes special teams very seriously here in Ypsilanti, too. So that's his baby, and he knows how special teams can impact the ball game.
Now let's see what his offense has. Still plenty of time left, 11:15 remaining, fourth quarter. Powell hands it off. Positive yardage on first down. Clock continues to run off the carry by Jalen Jackson. Well, Jackson's one of 2 players in FBS this year with a rushing touchdown and a kick return touchdown. He had the 89-yard kick return week 4 against Buffalo. Coach Creighton talked about how that game in Buffalo, where his defense gave up 50 points, was a big turning point. The DC talked about it as well to us, that they had to change the way they operate. Neil Nethery. Now their offense stuffed one more time.
Yeah, I think a lack of a true running game has kind of slowed this offense down too. But Northern Illinois feels like they match up well with this talented group of receivers, Baydoun and Drummond, Lassiter, Canoe. So when you feel like you can match up on the outside, you only have to rush 4 every time.
Powell under pressure, and he's going to go down. Boy, I tell you what, once Michael Kennedy gets that right hand on you, it's hard to get away.
Michael Kennedy's been a problem out there. We've called his name a couple of times, but it's really starting with the secondary matching up. Look at him off the edge, right side with a bull rush. It means you just go right down the guy's chest plate, and that was Marcellus Johnson, 71 at left tackle. And looks like his pad level was a little too high right there. So just keep an eye on the left side of your screen. And when you're playing straight-legged, it's going to be easy to push you in the chest and push you back. Doug, if you're standing here straight up, I can tip you over.
Ow! Don't push me, man.
But you got to get in that football position. You got to squat, get low, and that's tough to do there. But that's a great play by Kennedy.
Right. Johnson, 6'4", 308. Kennedy, 6'1", 225. So he's given up, upwards of 100 pounds, but on that bull rush, able to impose his will. Terrific punt down to the 10-yard line before it is touched by Baydoun. 52 yards to flip the field. Our score, 32-10, Northern Illinois looking to pull the upset here at Ypsilanti.
Red Riding Hood loved visiting Grandma's house. Unfortunately, others did too. But after saving big with early holiday deals at Amazon, she was ready for those uninvited guests. Who's a good boy? Apparently the big bad wolf.
Why do we do it? Why do we push ourselves to the very brink? Why do we put 12-foot skeletons in our yards? Because fall. Fall hard with Duncan.
If you do what feels right, then own your style. Phillips One Blade. Your style made simple. There's always a way to make life better.
the Audi 2022 MLS Cup playoffs. Time to show it to the world. Today at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC, then 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
This is El Clasico. Great play. These two giants of the game have faced each other.
A great story has magic, power, and every once in a while, it has miracles. As luck would have it, that's our story.
You're watching the MAC on ESPN. Along with Marcus Ray, I'm Doug Sherman. And Northern Illinois defensively, you've talked about it, Marcus, on more than one occasion, has held Eastern's running game in check, averaging only 1.5 yards per attempt. Jackson's got 60 yards, but their main man, Samson Evans, still has not touched the football in the second half. 4 carries, 4 yards. We just presume something is up with him. And with that, Northern Illinois has controlled this football game.
Yes, they have. They've dominated the line of scrimmage. If you're running the ball on offense and you're stopping your opponent from running the ball on defense, that means you're controlling the line of scrimmage. And that's where Northern Illinois has been able to dominate this football game.
As a team, Northern has carried the football 36 times for 180 yards before this carry by Harrison Whaley, averaging 5 yards a pop. Big difference.
Yeah, really big difference. And also, Northern Illinois has been getting sacks on defense, too. And obviously in college football, that affects your rushing yards. But Northern Illinois, they didn't want to give up too many sacks to Jose Ramirez. He had the big game, so they figured if they line up and run the ball, then that lessens the amount of sacks that he can create, too.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Running the football like that and having the Wildcat kind of neutralizes that big playability for number 0 in green. He's still out there. You see him at the top of your screen trying to bend that edge. He can do it with his speed and with his power. Former Arizona Wildcat. They're going to run at him with the Wildcat and run right past him. Positive yardage on the run by Whaley. He picks up 5 yards. In on the stop, sophomore Quintavious Scandrett.
Watch the left side of your screen, running right at Ramirez out of that Wildcat single wing look. I mean, the one thing you do to a great pass rusher on every level of football is run the ball right at him.
3rd down and 1. And again, the single wing look. Whaley makes a man miss in the backfield, and he's off to the races. Across the 50, inside the 30. He's gonna go. 76 yards on the touchdown run by Harrison Whaley.
Wow. You want to talk about patience and speed all in the same play? Just watch this offensive line gets MVPs coming right at you. Watch that block right there by Justin Lynch is what sealed and guaranteed the touchdown run. And he didn't even block him. All he did was got in his way. Every play matters, and you have to account for everyone on that field. So when Lynch goes in motion like that, he's still in the play.
Right. Because I think the immediate reaction is, well, he's just going out there and not going to do anything. But he certainly did something there.
Sealed that edge. And Potter, Schernitz, Champ, these guys have been grounded and pounding all day. Just look at the scoreboard. 29-point lead in Ypsilanti.
Yes, you can eat Pillsbury cookie dough raw. Or bake it.
Okay, this is a freezer, not a time capsule. Sometimes the house itself can tell you how a young homeowner is turning into their parents.
Not those two.
Yep, they're gone.
Forever?
Yep.
That there is Progressive's Home Quote Explorer website, where I compared home insurance rates.
We don't need to print the internet. Some are beyond help. I will give you $100 if you can tell me what this is.
Scotch egg.
It's a meatball.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer.
We've got a lot of work to do.
Jeez.
Ironic. Edelman's struggling with reception.
Two things I hate dropping: balls and calls.
Well, you need a better network. Time to switch to Verizon, the most reliable 5G network in America.
I'm listening.
You even get a free 5G phone on them.
Sweet.
So now, whether you're in the city or on the road,
Reception.
and getting the network you want and a brand new phone.
Touchdown!
Oh! Touchdown!
Switch now and get the new Google Pixel 7 Pro on us. Only on the network America relies on. Verizon.
The Audi 2022 MLS Cup Playoffs. Time to show it to the world. Today at 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC, then 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
It's a beautiful time for basketball. A season fresh with hope and stars vying for greatness. NBA Open Week begins Wednesday and continues Friday on ESPN.
Another big play for the Huskies, this time delivered by Harrison Whaley. Balloons the lead to 29 points. The 76-yard touchdown run matches nearly his season per game average, which was fourth best in the MAC coming in. Give him 148 on the day and counting. And I said right before that run, Northern was averaging 5 yards per rushing attempt today. It jumped it up to 6.8 after that big one. If you get nearly 7 yards carry, you're going to win the football game.
Definitely going to win the football game. And you know, Whaley is a home run hitter. So if he gets through there, it's not a lot of guys that's going to run him down from behind.
Well, you know, Whaley coming up from Urbandale High School in Iowa. He attended NIU camp for high school prospects, and Hammock and his staff immediately identified, saying this guy's a take. Don't know if he's going to be a defensive back. Don't know if he's going to be a wide receiver, maybe a running back. They knew as an athlete, as an explosive athlete, they wanted him on their side. They are sure glad they've got him.
Yeah, and he fits their scheme as far as being able to run the football inside and outside. They like to use him on a lot of outside runs, and with his type of speed and athleticism, running behind an offensive line like that to go along with the package with Lynch running the football as well makes it really hard to defend.
The pride and joy of Susanna and McPeter Whaley, born on the Ivory Coast of Africa, raised in Johnston, Iowa, and leading the Huskies to a 39-10 lead. 7:14 remaining here in the fourth quarter in Ypsilanti. Taylor Powell going to try and sling it. Dumps it off to his running back. Jackson in space, lightning in a bottle. To the 40. Finally dragged down at the 34-yard line.
That's a fine play by Powell, being able to step up in the pocket, check it down. Now, we talked about Whaley's speed on Jackson, too. He's lightning in the bottle, as you stated. But give some credit to Jordan Gandy, the cornerback. He was able to slow that play down at the point of attack on the sideline.
Quarterback Powell just throws the ball into the turf. After that 42-yard pass play, they get nothing on first down, stopping the clock with 6:43 remaining.
If you would have paid me and said, hey, Northern Illinois secondary is banged up and they've had 5 different starting units back there, and I would tell you, Doug, you don't need to be in this business. I'm telling you, because they don't look like a team, a secondary versus a very explosive passing attack. They've done a fine job today.
Maybe Nick Benedetto's speed dating has been working.
Oh, yeah.
Checking it down, Canoe, but this is going to go for a loss. Pass completed, clock continues to run, and you lose 4 yards on the play.
Yeah, that's just not a good play for the Eagles. And what they're doing is rushing 4, dropping 7. And, you know, that's a Tony Dungy philosophy where if his defensive line, if he can get pressure with 4 people, they can run all types of coverages on the back end.
Down the left sideline trying to find Drummond. Step for step was Jordan Gandy, the South Dakota State transfer. 2-time All-MAC DB, second team in 2020, third team a year ago. One of the reliable mainstays in that defensive backfield for NIU.
When you look at last week, Dylan Drummond, 4 catches, touchdown. Baydoun, 3 catches for 57 yards and a touchdown. Lassiter, 6 for 104. Those numbers aren't up there today, and it changed the entire scope of the scoreboard. Look at Northern Illinois playing at the sticks right now.
4th down and 12, got to go for it for Eastern Michigan. Powell chased out of the backfield and dropped from behind by Isaiah Green May. Well, he was a spot starter over 5 years with the Wisconsin Badgers. He is a big impact player as a starter this year for NIU.
6'6", 242 pounds, and he runs like a gazelle. When it's an obvious passing situation, defensive ends pin their ears back. Look at Coach Hammock. He's fired up. He's got his guys on the move. Just watch for the left of your screen. Inside out, they ran a defensive twist inside, and there's not a lot of people that's going to block Green May. He's just long and lean and athletic, and that was a great play.
When he went into the portal, Coach Hammock said, I kept looking for warts. There's got to be something about this kid that has him leaving Wisconsin to go elsewhere. But he looked and looked and looked. He said there are no warts. He's a great kid. And from what the coaches say, the NFL scouts, when they come to DeKalb, they talk about him, among other people. They are intrigued by his upside.
And I am too. I mean, he fits the build. I mean, he's a guy that you can do a lot with. If you're in a 3-4 scheme, you can stand him up. I mean, he's long, 6'6", 242 pounds. He can run. He has pass rush moves, and I'm quite sure he can drop in coverage if you ask him to do that as well.
2nd down and 5 from midfield. Lynch hands it off. Whaley falls forward to just about the line to gain. And it is a 1st down at the 45-yard line. Give him 5 more yards as Whaley continues to pile up yardage.
Yeah, this Eastern Michigan defense has been worn down. They're still fighting, though. They're scratching and clawing, and they've given up their fair share of runs, and they've made some plays. But when you just keep taking body blows and body blows, you take a good look at Green May. He's got the hair working right there,
yeah.
But I wish I could still do that, man.
Brown hit and dropped at about the line of scrimmage.
First charge timeout. Eastern Michigan. This will be full media.
Eastern Michigan with the timeout. And that leads us to our next media timeout. We'll take a break. Coach Creighton's team down 29 on their home turf.
Ion. Electrified. Hungok tire.
If you know, you know.
Crispy corners, sauce on top.
If you know, you know.
Detroit style is back at Pizza Hut, just $12.99. You are trouble. No one outpizzas the Hut.
So?
The new iPhone 14 Pro. It's amazing.
Yep, the camera's incredible. And you'll get our best deal.
Nice, but everyone should get it.
Everyone can get it.
Every new customer.
And every existing customer.
Every iPhone.
Every iPhone.
Every iPhone.
Every iPhone.
Okay, my work here is done. Everyone gets the best deal on every iPhone.
Best one yet.
Everyone gets AT&T's best deals on every iPhone, including up to $800 off iPhone 14 Pro.
Are you coming for my job?
I booked tickets to Paris with my boyfriend, then we broke up.
It's not you, it's me.
So I took the next best person. Pick me. My sister. Sure, we were the only sisters on that romantic cruise, but it's not like my ex would have packed an umbrella. And as we sailed along the Seine, I thought, my sister is the best boyfriend I've never had.
One app, over 300,000 experiences you'll remember. Do more with Viator.
time for basketball. A season fresh with hope and stars vying for greatness. Heated rivalries with MVP talent. NBA Opening Week begins Wednesday and continues Friday on ESPN.
This is El Clasico. Great play. These two giants in the game faced each other.
Are you ready for football? Are you dreaming for football?
I love you, Josh Allen.
Are you crafting, prepping, and screaming for football? Good. Then you're ready.
This is one of 3 games still going on in the MAC in the fourth quarter. Toledo has taken a 2-touchdown lead against Kent State. That has about 12 minutes to go, so plenty of time for the Golden Flashes to get back in it. And then you've got Ohio up by 16 in Kalamazoo with about 7.5 minutes remaining. It's a crazy league, man.
I mean, week to week, you just never know. Toledo, hey, man, they showed up. I mean, they went out there and lost to Brady Hoke's San Diego State team, but Toledo is they're going to have a say in what's going on in this West as well.
Yeah, of all the MAC teams I've seen in person this year, I would say they have been the best. I've seen them twice. I like what I've seen out of the Rockets. You were talking about the physicality of this Northern Illinois team, that with that physicality, you think they can recover from 1-5.
I really do, because it's that time of year where it starts to get cold. A lot of guys don't want to tackle. People have 6, 7 games on film. You're still the defending champs. People are going to beat each other from week to week. I don't think anybody had Bowling Green, knocking off Miami after their performance last week. And, I had that game. So you just don't know from week to week.
Lynch hands it off. Brown chopped down, but not before he gets another first down. And you know what else? They get Rocky Lombardi back this week, and they get to utilize his golden arm in the first half when they needed it, but they've protected him, and they have seized control, not having to throw the football. They've gone to the Wildcat a lot, and they've been able to protect and get Rocky back over on the sideline, easing him back in. And Coach Hammock got to be thinking, boy, next week it's going to be even better because Rocky's leg's going to be even that much better, and if we need more from him, we can get more from him.
This is a supreme job of coaching by Thomas Hammock, being able to use both quarterbacks strategically. I mean, Lynch carried the load, but as you said, Lombardi came in there and started throwing strikes, and it keeps the defense off balance, the entire game. And then moving forward, you don't know, if you're playing this Northern Illinois team, you don't know who you're going to see, Lombardi or this package with Lynch.
We should mention again that Ethan Hampton, who's been the most recent starter for Northern Illinois quarterback, suffered a third-quarter injury against Toledo last week, and he did not make the trip here to Ypsilanti. Don't know about his status going forward. But we did talk to Neil Nethery, the DC for Eastern Michigan, about the different mindsets you've got to do and different game plans when you're trying to prepare for 2 different quarterbacks of 2 very different styles. And when Lombardi's out there, you can go get him. But when it's Lynch and the running attack, you've got to be a little more discerning.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's tough just coordinating, I think, defensively on all levels. Now, these offensives, they're coming with different stuff from week to week. But Northern Illinois, you got to remember, they finished up awfully strong against Toledo last week when they were down. They scored 25 points in that fourth quarter, kicking onside kicks, going for 2. So they really finished that game on a high note, even though Toledo went down there and knocked them off.
Time of possession, all Coach Hammock's team, 36 minutes and counting to just 20 minutes and 54 seconds for Eastern Michigan. And the 2 turnovers were huge for Northern Illinois, trying to seize control. The 2 turnovers, the pick 6, and then the fumble on the return, while Coach Hammock's team has not turned it over at all. They just used a timeout there. They have played a really good football game from beginning to end.
And you could tell from the very beginning that the game plan was going to be to run the football and play defense. They saw something on film, and they didn't want to let the game get out of reach where when Lombardi got in, he was in a bad situation either.
Right.
Where he had to get hit and make all kind of plays. Eastern's defense showed up on that first series, and it was that punt all the way down inside the 5-yard line that really started things. It was just like well, what does that really mean? Or how did that happen? And then it led to a pick six. And from then on, Northern Illinois felt like they had something rolling.
Hey, we came into the game talking about Jose Ramirez with his 4 sacks last week. He had 2 sacks early in this one. You thought, well, here we go again, but that was not the story of the game. It completely flipped the other way around with the sacks.
Well, he needed a lot more help, and it wasn't going to be the sacks that were going to win this game. It was going to have to be someone in that run game that was up front or at the linebacker position that was going to have to do something.
Lynch keeps and goes down to stay in bounds. Smartly done. With 1:43 remaining after they move the sticks, they'll get the clock running again. 5-yard gain for the sophomore out of Mount Carmel High School in Chicago. And so we talked about the Ramirez sacks, and Northern Illinois sacks began to pile up after number 0 stopped.
And you'll see it right here. I mean, they did it with coverage and they did it up front. Look at O'Malley, the big fella. He was just living in the backfield and making plays. I tip my cap to the secondary too, because they only rushed 4 people. So they did it with coverage and they did it with stunts up front.
Blake Moore the carry. Funny you tip your cap to the defensive backs, Marcus.
Because that's an underappreciated job, is playing defensive back. And
did you play both ways in high school?
Yeah. I was a mean guy in high school. I was a big-time football player. Nah, I played a little running back too, man. It was crazy. I was close to going to Northwestern and run the ball. And what's crazy is Coach Barnett, I believe it was, may he rest in peace, he said, it's between you and this guy named Darnell Autry. I said, you can have him, whoever that is. 1,800 yards later, they beat us twice. I said, I should have went to Northwestern.
No, I think you made the right choice, my man. Micah Coleman with the sack, and that will do it. Hey, throw the records out the window when you're in the MAC, and we said off the top, statistically, these two teams aren't as disparate as you might think. And the final score shows Northern Illinois. A couple of words there between the two head coaches on the handshake. Northern Illinois puts 39 on the board and picks up its first conference win of the year.
That's a big win for Northern. I think it really saved the season. See, Coach is angry. I don't think he liked that last play right there. It was a situation where the game was over and they were just trying to run the play out. And it ended up as a pretty good tackle for loss there. But nevertheless, though, the Huskies fought back after a abysmal performance last week against Toledo. They came back, got back to business, ran the ball, while Eastern Michigan and the Eagles were flying high. So Chris Creighton's going to go back to the table, watch the tape, and he told us, hey, we don't have it figured out. From week to week, they can be a different team just depending on who they play. Northern Illinois ran the football, put Eastern in the phone booth, and said, let's knuckle up. And I tell you what, they threw a lot of body punches, Doug, and they added up in the later rounds.
They sure did. Big plays right from the start. There you see Rocky Lombardi. After he makes his return to the lineup for the Huskies, was effective throwing the football when needed. 11 of 15 throwing for 115 yards. He had a big game as well. The offense, the defense, everybody contributed. Northern Illinois got 158 yards rushing on just 16 carries from Harrison Whaley and a touchdown. Brown with a couple of rushing touchdowns. Pretty complete performance by this team from DeKalb. So for Marcus Ray, I am Doug Sherman saying so long from Ypsilanti, Michigan, where the final score, Northern Illinois 39, Eastern Michigan 10. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.